Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Night Owl, a show that we do twice a week where we talk about all the latest in pop culture news, TV and movie reviews, gaming news, and just the general conversations of the day. Today, we have a special panel. With me is the very distinguished CC Karaoke, and also with us is Istophobos. How's it going? First of all, CC, how's it going?
It's going great. Thank you for having me again. Trying to fill the shoes of the professor who is away road tripping.
The
So just for
professor is
thanks.
traveling, and we wish him a fine holiday with his family. And then we have Istophobos here. How's it going, man?
I love that intro. You're like the distinguished CC, and also there's Istophobos. You can you can always say I like it when you call me friend of the channel because I'm your
You are a
friend.
friend of the channel. You are. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was just and I also want to say that uh recently on Twitter there's been strange things with messages. And earlier today I was speaking with Six, who's a friend of mine, and I sent her a link. And I think that something happened, some kind of glitch happened with the messages, and I think she didn't get the link that I sent her. So, Six, if you're listening to this, I just sent another link, and we'd be happy to hang out with you if you got the link. Uh, Hopefully, she's listening or she's seeing her messages. It's really tough. I mean, Elon Musk has rolled out a lot of stuff that was good, but that chat thing has been a headache. And that happened to me also last week. It was Niat's stream where he sent me a link that I can go to StreamYard, but then I couldn't use it. I couldn't see the link. It's just really, really annoying. But never mind. Hey, Vex, how's it going? Happy Thanksgiving. It's so funny that something happened this week involving Vex that I was looking at my channel, Price of Reason Live, the one that you're watching now, and it shows you if people are watching videos. Now suddenly 5 people watched a video that she and I did a stream of the Night Owl, the second episode ever. So 5 people had watched a lot like a Night Owl with me and Vex from 2 years ago or something. It's just so odd. Why would 5 people be watching it? It's like out of all the things they could be watching, how did they get to that? And I was just really it made me go back and look at it a bit because I hadn't looked at it in a while, and it was a very kind of loose conversation. Now, you may think that this is a loose conversation, but trust me when I tell you, that was an even looser conversation. It felt like almost 2 people that aren't aware that they're on stream. It just was like 2 people hanging out, talking about Scavenger's Reign. It was kind of cool, actually. And it reminded me that I am somewhat fond of Vex Electronica.
Only somewhat.
When I discover a new streamer, I'll often go to the very back and start watching all of their videos in order. So maybe a couple of people discovered you guys and started to play through all your streams.
Yeah, there's always a temptation to look back and see how absolutely awful somebody was several years ago by comparison to where they've come today. I'm not saying that as a mean thing. It's just like if you do stream or anything to do with creating videos, you get better over the course of years, right? I mean, there is a skill set to it, and you look back 5 years ago, it's like, wow, I was awful back then.
My very favorite one is going back and looking at the Critical Drinker's very old streams because he's like, "Thank you very much, and I appreciate you coming to listen." And then, at some point he's like, "No, go away now." But that's not what he said originally.
The
It
Dead
was
Man, it was you? You did it? Interesting. Yeah, I mean, the first Night Owl is just me talking by myself, and then I at the time was just having a conversation with Vex, and I was telling her that I was trying to do this thing where do something at night where I talk, and she was really, really nice to hop on, and she did a few streams with me. So most people don't know this, but technically, the original co-host for the Night Owl was Vex Electronica. And of course, it's never a situation that she was told not to be one. It's just that I don't know if it was a late hour for her, the hours weren't so good or whatever it is, and I understand. But I will always appreciate that early on when I was trying to figure out what to do with this stream, that she was there, and yeah, I always appreciate that. And we have another guest, uh, but I suspect that she's probably not using OBS. If you turn on your microphone, I can try to help you, Six.
Yay, Six is here.
Right, but she needs to unmute her microphone. That's something that I don't think I can do.
I'm unmuted.
Oh yeah.
Can you
You're
hear me?
unmuted?
I'm unmuted.
Okay, you're not on OBS, so what I'll do is I suspect, so I'll find your where I'm gonna
Sit.
find your avatar.
Yeah, you get to sit on Price's lap
Oh,
like I
nice.
used to.
I hope it's warm.
It was very cuddly crochet.
Is it squishy?
I miss the old days when he used to shrink me small and put me.
I remember those days, Phobos. So you're hearing Six here in the background. Six is a good friend of mine, and we don't get a lot of chances to hang out these days. I'm actually trying to find your, how do I call it? Like
Her
your
avatar
YouTube?
profile picture.
Yeah, I'm trying to find her avatar and I can't find it.
Well, this is why I messaged you earlier. I was telling you I was trying to figure it out.
Ah, I see.
There's no way for me to like upload my avatar.
Do you have? Can you send me in a message? Can you send me an
I'll send it
image?
in a message. Yeah, just continue on and I'll work it out.
Okay, perfect.
Oh yeah,
So-
your profile picture on Twitter is blank at the moment.
Right.
I'll
Six
send
is a
you
very
something.
mysterious woman, so don't be surprised that suddenly her avatar disappears with no explanation. But again, also old friend of mine, also happy to see her here. And yeah, so it's great that we're here in Thanksgiving and we're hanging out. This is the Night Owl Thanksgiving special, of course, and we're going to talk about some stuff today. You know, usually we talk about a lot of news, like, you know, very, very kind of regular news, but the truth is, on Thanksgiving, you know, we can touch upon a few things if we really wanted to, but maybe we can try to be a little more uplifting than usual rather than just negativity. I mean, I'm still going to complain about Stranger Things, so not going to be all that positive.
I had time to get through the first 2 episodes, but the clock ran out, so I've only seen 2 of the 4.
It's okay. It's okay. I won't do spoilers. I won't necessarily do spoilers, but I will share some thoughts on it. Let me see if Six sent me that.
No, I'm still looking.
I'm still looking for it.
Cece, did you watch the first like 2 episodes of season 1?
No,
Or
of
the
season
first 2
5.
of the new? Okay.
Yeah, of the new one, yeah.
Yeah,
I found out that was the topic of the day a couple hours ago. I was like, ooh, I better hurry.
I actually have some positive things to say about a couple of other TV shows as well. We can have a great positive stream.
That sounds awesome.
And then we can talk about Larry Summers.
So let's talk about, first of all, Stranger Things season 5. I'm just wondering on Rotten Tomatoes, what do they consider it? What grade did they give it? Well, they were very generous with it until now, I think. So they've given it a 94 from the critics and an 89% from the audience. What I'll say is this, is that when I was watching this, first of all, in that first episode, it takes a while to even get back into the story. Now, I know some people may have gone back and watched all those episodes, but I just didn't have time to start going and watching previous seasons so I can remember what happened here. And I think that's beyond my critique of the show itself. Waiting so many years between seasons is something that is not helping shows. I think that at some point you wait too long and people barely even remember what's going on. And this first episode, I feel like it did a lot of kind of exposition dumping, half of the time to remind you what you're even looking at, and then also to help you catch up because there was a bit of a time jump trying to explain to you what has happened.
Sorry, a bit of a time jump? I had to suspend my disbelief. This is supposed to take place 3 years after the first season.
They look like they're 50, these kids.
Yeah,
I mean,
these 11-year-old kids are supposed to be 15 in this season now, right?
they do
11,
not look
12-year-old
their
kids.
age anymore. I mean, all of them look significantly older. The funny one was like that they do like Dustin when they put him like with a hat and they try to make him like this little twerp, but he looks older. He looks like an older kid that they're trying to dress him up as a younger kid, and it's really strange.
Now, in its defense, in 1987, all the high school kids on TV were 30, so it does
That
kind
is
of
true.
fit.
At least I'll give you that all the high school kids were 30, but man, do these kids look old. And of course, Millie Bobby Brown, in her case, I don't know how. I feel like it's I'm going to be careful here because I'm probably going to come off bit of a douche here. Let's see. Did Six find the
Well, they
picture?
they dress her down a little bit. It's part of the
No,
character.
it's not a matter of dressing down. The reason why I'm going to sound like a douche is I feel like Millie Bobby Brown. Sometimes you have a gene, maybe that you have good genes and your aging is slower. I feel like she has a gene that's expediting her aging.
Well, the
L-
opposite of Winona Ryder. She's 54, and whew, she is still hot.
Yeah, I still like Winona Ryder, and they make her look kind of dumpy here, and I still like her. I always like Winona Ryder. Have no
Yeah,
issue with her. The thing with Millie Bobby Brown, it's like she's aging quicker, and I don't know how. I have no idea how this happened. I've never.
she's doing it on purpose. She was so tired of being like the little kid that all of her cosmetic procedures and her makeup and her dress and look are all designed to make her look older. She's been consciously trying to do that for like the last 5 years.
Well, isn't that what teenage girls and young women do? They want to look older.
Yeah, but
They
I think
want to.
maybe not that
I think
mean,
I
it's-
don't think she looks. I mean, I've heard people, say that she looks like she's in her 30s or 40s, and I don't think so. I think she looks amazing.
yeah,
She's
yeah, I
married,
don't
she's starting a family, she's been adopting one or two children. She's just trying to live her life, and what she looks like. I think she looks great.
yeah, good
No,
for her. Like I think she looks like mid to late 20s and there's nothing wrong with that. But
she
I
does look
think
older than she is, in my opinion.
She's like 19, right?
How
yeah,
old is she? Let's look. Millie Bobby Brown. Millie, I think she's more than 19 at this point. Age,
I thought she was 20.
she's 21 years old, and honestly, she looks like like she's 30. I'm not saying she looks like she's 40 or 50. She looks older than she is, and I don't know why. It's like
well,
I don't
there's a
know.
pressure. There's a pressure in Hollywood, which seems to
It,
go
it,
against
it doesn't
common
seem
sense.
like
But
she's had like a million operations or anything. It's just for some reason over the past few years she's significantly aged, and I don't really know
it doesn't
why.
have to be. And I think Six has a point too. Even in regular life, there's a tendency to want to try and age yourself up.
And is
Uh,
she looking like she's 30 on the red carpet,
Let me see. I
or is
thought
it
so.
like
I thought
at the
she looks a
grocery
little older
store?
on the red carpet too. I mean, again, a little older. Like at times, she looks more like she's here. Let's see this picture.
Do you see the one where she's walking her child out in public and no makeup? She looks younger there. I can send it to you if you want.
Let me see if I can find this thing. Hold on. I got this. So, what is this weird thing?
aside from the
I
ad,
didn't
yeah,
ask for
she's
these.
definitely dressing herself up to look older than 21.
There's something about her that looks older than 21. I'm not saying that she's a bad looking close to 30-year-old
No,
woman.
my
I'm just
take
saying that
on my take
no,
on
no,
it
you go on.
is
Yeah.
that especially in Hollywood, they must be looking for respect, right? I mean, the idea is that if they look too young, they won't command the respect that they are seeking. And at least that's my take on why women in Hollywood in particular, but I would say outside of Hollywood too, try to
And
be
maybe she's trying
faster.
to differentiate herself from the character that she's playing on the TV show. And, everybody talks about the kids on Stranger Things, and so maybe she's like, I'm a woman. I'm a grown ass woman. I'm out here living my best life. I'm earning my own income. I'm paying my bills, and I want to be seen as an adult. I want adult roles.
I have to give her credit for adopting a child at such a young age. That's
Are you sure she did that? I never even heard any of
yeah,
this.
she adopted a daughter at 20, and I sent you a picture of her with their baby walking. She's not wearing any makeup, and she looks significantly younger.
And she's married to John Bon Jovi's kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
mean, she's young. they got married young, but I I wish her all the best.
Yeah, they look like a normal couple. They're drinking bubble tea, it looks like, and have their little baby in a stroller. And she just looks like normal. She might look a couple years older, she just matures a bit, but she doesn't look nearly as old when she's not glammed up.
I see.
Did you see the picture I sent?
Let me see
I,
one
I don't know
second.
if it comes through on the DMs. That's Twitter is pissing me off.
Okay, yeah, I think I got it. Let me share this tab instead.
I do love the feature that we can see what country an account's from. I wish we could block accounts by a whole country, but baby
So a few
steps.
things. Palm5966 says season 4 was filmed in late 2020, according to Wiki. Yeah, they waited too long. I mean, yes, I'm still going to watch these episodes. It's not that they're bad, but I do feel like there comes a point where you're wasting too much time between season to season. I think this is unreasonably a long time. Considering when did this show even start? Like in 2016? Has it
Yeah,
been 10
2016.
years?
Yeah.
It's really hard to do a show based on children and then wait so long between all these seasons. There, like you said, there's a lot of suspension of disbelief, and it's beyond just the reasonable. There's a reasonable amount of suspension of disbelief. I found myself during these episodes at certain moments really feeling their older age and almost struggling with that suspension.
Do you remember what happened on Yellowstone? Between season 1 and 2, the kid that kind of Rip and what's her name adopted, and he had a huge growth spurt over the summer, and he went from looking like 13 to 26. He didn't even look like the same actor.
Uh, I agree with you. Oh, I know what you mean. I know the kid from Yellowstone. You're right. He did. I thought it was a different actor too.
Oh,
Also, they
yeah,
wait too
yeah.
long. Six had a question. I'm trying to think. You can't see this on YouTube. We're streaming in all places. I don't know.
You
No,
and Six are up close and personal on the left
I
side there.
can't.
Yeah.
I know. I'm
Who's
wiggling.
who's
I
the
can't.
kitty?
I can't see it. Like I'm on the Rumble tab, and I can't see what YouTube is showing. I can't see the picture of Millie. It's not
Oh,
showing up.
Oh, let's see. I
we're
can
seeing
see
I
it.
it.
just, yeah,
Are
I
you
just
sure
checked
you're
YouTube.
not
It looks good.
delayed?
No, it's black.
Oh, weird.
So I just didn't know. I mean, I can open up another tab. It's not a problem. I just thought, is there something I need to click on?
No, we're seeing it. I don't know why you're not
Yeah.
seeing it, but
That's annoying. Okay.
Who's your kitty, Six?
That is a
Or two of them?
a pseudo kitty. It's
Oh.
not a. I actually don't have a cat that looks like that. I just asked Grok to make me a picture. I wanted an
Oh.
updated picture, and I said, "Give me a blonde wearing scrubs with a microphone and cats."
Oh, yeah, now I see 3 cats. I didn't see the 2 on the bottom at first.
Yeah, I'm quite the cat collector.
Nice. So you have a few cats.
I do. I have indoor cats and I have outdoor cats because my neighbors don't fix their animals. So they come
I
and go
see.
to my garage and I feed them. And there's a heated water bowl and a space heater and a heated pad I get them fixed and then I bring them back to my house and I let them go. And sometimes I can pet them and most of the time I can't. So,
Hey, Professor.
Professor.
Professor is doing his holiday thing. So
Oh,
the
welcome.
thing is it's fine. I'm not saying she looks 100. I'm just saying that, relatively speaking, she aged at 19 a little more than some people age, and that's another reason why they shouldn't wait so many years. Also, the one that plays Nancy, she's very thin. I don't know. I thought that she looked, from season to season, she's looking more kind of thin. I don't know if she's doing that Ozempic thing or what exactly is wrong, but I don't know. It doesn't suit her. I
Yeah,
don't
they're
feel that
all
it
in
suit her.
Ozempic, man. It was very visually jarring. I will say, to see how much older they gotten. It kind of took me out of the story a little bit.
It did. I'm telling you, the first episode, really, for a big portion of it, I was thinking to myself, they look so old. what's even happening on this show? How do I get back into it? I didn't feel like watching the previous episodes. Somehow, by the end of that first episode, they build up enough momentum to do some interesting things, and then you kind of get pulled into it. And if I just look at the writing, there's a lot of decent things that happened in the next few episodes. I didn't suffer watching them, but I did have a few issues with it. And one of them is a difficult one to address because I'm ambivalent about it. The thing is that in spite of what people may think of, because they hear me complaining always, I don't care if, let's say, there's a show or a movie. There's a large group of kids that one of them would be sort of an LG person. I think that's fine, and as long as you're not really like taking focus away from the story to dwell on it and it's just something that happens, I think that works best. But in this show, it's like, first of all, they had one lady that they introduced that's like that, and then they have another character who's also like that, and now in these episodes I felt like a not, I don't know how to explain it, too much time perhaps was invested in them talking about this whole situation. It's like I really felt that it was a bit forced. I feel like if there's one character and you do it whatever, there's a way to do it organically. Once it's already a few and they're just standing around in the middle of this whole thing just talking about it, it just felt like maybe it was one step over what it needed to be. And as evil as this sounds, like, evil. I don't know what evil is the right word. As douchey as it sounds on my end, I feel like some executive walked into some boardroom and said, "Hey, can we have two characters like this? And they also talk about it?" It's like it feels like notes from somebody. I mean, I don't think we need that extent of it. There was a way to do it and not make it as you know obvious, or I don't know exactly what word I'm looking for.
I don't know what happens in the third and fourth episodes, so I can only speak to the first two episodes, in which there's really only a couple of moments. I did laugh. I did laugh out loud when the Coke can hit the floor when he was
It
watching that sultry kiss, and he was like, "Whew,
Yeah, I mean,
splat."
that it doesn't end there. It's just that, like, has anybody seen all 4 episodes, or I'm the only one?
I've
um
only seen two.
yeah, I haven't, but it's still disturbing to me the way they
Did you
showed
watch
the
all four, Phobos?
no, no, just two. But you remember the way
Six?
the press was really focusing on that young kid and his sexuality back when he was 13? Whenever they show something like that, I always think back to the media and just how focused they were on the private life of a minor.
Six, did you watch all four
I have seen all 4 episodes of the first season.
of the first season? What about
About
your
Yeah, I don't know where people have all this time to watch TV. I don't have that kind of time. I wish I
That's okay. That's okay. I won't. I won't. I'm not going to spoil anything beyond
Oh,
that.
that's
But I'll,
totally
I'll
fine.
just. But all I'm saying is it reminds me of a movie that I saw that's coming out this weekend. I talked about it on this stream. There's a movie called Eternity with Miles Teller and Elizabeth Olsen. And what happens in that movie is that early on there's a character that we'd seen earlier, and the character is revealing that basically she is a LG person, and that her whole life she was, but she was closeted because it wasn't accepted in society. Now when I saw that, I said, okay, cool, yeah, I mean, there's different people here, that is something that happens, okay. But then the next thing you know, there's a character who's Elizabeth Olsen's first husband, who died in the Korean War, like 67 years or whatever it is, years ago. And he, from the time that he was in, was certainly very, those type of things also weren't very accepted, or whatever you want to call it at the time. So basically, everything seems like he's like this very kind of hetero guy and whatever, and he wants to win her back. And suddenly, in one conversation, he's like, "Yeah, while I was here, like in the afterlife, I started experimenting with men." And I'm like, "What?" It felt so forced into the movie that it's like as if somebody forced that you have to say that that guy also did something with men when it doesn't even seem logical to his character. And that's when I kind of said, "Okay, this is already bullshit. You have one character, you said this and that, let's move on." Like, shit happens in life. It's fine. I'm not that nitpicky. I don't care. And you could do a show or a movie that's good, and a character can be that, and it doesn't have to define all the actions of the person. You can have that. It's fine. But the fact that they felt the need to like take another guy who didn't seem like he would be that guy at all and shove that on him as well, it just felt like annoying. It felt like Hollywood with their stupid crap. Which
I
is
mean,
why the movie, which was shit to begin with, that Eternity movie was pretty much a piece of shit to begin with. But after that, it's like it's unbearable shit. It's like it's less than shit. You know what I'm saying?
I was recently watching the first 2 seasons of For All Mankind, and I enjoyed a lot of parts of it, but it kind of what you were talking about reminds me of that because there was one plot line in those particularly in the first season, about immigrants traveling from south of the border illegally, shall we say. And it had really like you could have taken every one of those scenes out of the entire season of the show, and it wouldn't have harmed the show because that plot line had absolutely no impact whatsoever. It's
I
almost as though some corporate guy said, "Hey, can you add this plot line in here?" You know.
Yeah, I don't think Hollywood realizes how obviously inorganic it is when they force it in for, ideological or pandering reasons. When it's normal and natural to the plot, you hardly even notice.
Now, to the show's credit, I think I think Moore was able to kind of finesse her. I think a more talented showrunner, can say, okay, I have these crappy notes. How am I going to make the most of this situation and kind of like work it in as organically as possible? And so I think in the case of, say, the second season of For All Mankind as the example, the showrunner managed to kind of find a way to make the bad situation work and turn it into something semi interesting, but you could tell, right, that it was not. There's no way that was part of the original plan. It was just shoehorned into the story, and now you got to try and make it fit somehow.
Yeah, and you gotta wonder what they lost to put that in. Several friends of mine really liked that show, but it didn't really get going for me until about season 3.
Well, I mean, I mean, do you think about the showrunner again? Because he did Battlestar Galactica and Deep Space Nine. I mean, where is his wheelhouse? Right, it's in like more heavy kind of future science fiction and
Y
politics, right?
Yeah, so they had to get to the present at least or a little bit of the future, and
Yeah,
then he starts
exactly.
really cooking. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Um,
I'd like to see somebody put together some kind of spreadsheet or a graph or something showing the incidences of uh, LGBT relationships in movies from, like, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago versus 2025. And I know that we're just inundated with stuff right now because of all the different streaming services, but I I feel like I and a lot of other people were so trigger happy. Like, we see anything, "Oh, she held eye contact with that woman for too long. She's obviously a lesbian." Or, "Oh, they're talking about the weather. We're gonna have climate change coming down the line." You know? And so any kind of instance like that, I think that a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's woke. It's this, it's that." And so I just would like to see a comparison, and because I
um,
understand this social contagion of people wanting to or choosing to identify as that, because I'd also like to know how many people identify as that who actually act it out. Because yes, I can flirt and I can say, "Oh, this woman is super sexy," and I do her up in a minute, or what, I don't even know what the lingo is. But to be honest, it would never happen. It would never ever happen. So I don't understand how just being in an environment where your friends and coworkers and your family are so inclined to be that way. Why are so many other people that would never influence me to not be into men? Never. It
um,
just goes against my everything about me.
they've done some numbers and studies on that. I don't know if they have an exact spreadsheet, but the amount of representation over the last 20 years has grown over 400%. In 2022, there were 358 LGBTQ regular and recurring characters on major streaming services. Um, and
Com-
for
Is that compared to like how many TV shows and movies and stuff that there are out there? Because now it's, because it used to be back in the day, CBS, NBC, um, ABC, and then what was the other one that came along?
Oh, Fox.
Fox. Yeah, that used to be it. Those used to be our options.
Yeah. Well, they did say like in 1990, there were only a handful of characters. But the representation percentage now is over 4 times the amount in real life. Just like the percentage of ethnic minorities represented on television is double the actual percentage represented in the population.
So
So
for
they
all
are,
things being equal, then there is definitely an increase. Is that what
yeah,
you're
they
saying?
are, and
Okay.
they are well overrepresented compared to, the actual population of the country that the shows were made for. So yeah.
Now, I'll give you an example coming from the other side here because I'm also a gamer and not just for movies and TV. And one recent example is Final Fantasy 14, right? This game hired an English voice actor for a role to voice a character who was female in the game. And shall we say the person they hired, depending on your perspective, may or may not have had the necessary qualities for that role. And it became a real kind of a talking point online. And people who had not played the game at all used it as a rallying cry to go against. This is clearly, you know, um, additional representation, and the character themselves in the game was a Mary Sue. So I decided I would sit down and going to play this for myself, but I set it to the Japanese audio, which had no such issues with its casting, because in Japan, in the base language, everything was on board, shall we say. And the voice actress they hired in Japan was fantastic for the role. And I realized this character is actually quite feminine, and this character is actually quite flawed. And the voice actress playing her in Japan did a really great job. But here on the English side, it's fair to say, regardless of one's opinions, the voice, the person they hired did a very poor job, and maybe did not have the merits for the work, right? So as I'm thinking to myself, this is not quite what was advertised to me. So I think we got to sometimes be careful, again, to get to that point, is that we don't get overly trigger happy seeing it in every which place. The person they hired on the English side, yeah, that was certainly an issue, right? But that doesn't mean that the core writing of the original team in Japan was actually agenda driven, right?
So
Uh, but I don't know how we got there. But what I wanted to say was that in this show, and I don't think this is a secret, they've already introduced at some point that Maya Hawke's character is an LG person. And in addition, they also introduced an idea that Will is, an LG person. Now, even when I saw that, I thought to myself, it's not that within a group of kids it couldn't be like, or teenagers or whatever, there couldn't be two of them, but I think that at some point I thought to myself, was it really necessary, like, two of them to do the representation? The other thing is that Maya Hawke seems and I talked about this with a few other friends of mine today. Maya Hawke, and I think that's my friend Badger said this. uh, I don't know what it says about me that I have a friend called Badger, but that he is my friend, and that's what he said. That that basically she should have been a love interest that could have been for Steve. Meaning, there's that
Oh
whole
yeah.
love triangle with Steve and with Charlie, is that his name? And Nancy. And I think that having her around is sort of the way she initially was introduced as something of a love interest for Steve, which then turned out to be interested in women. I think that having her in the mix there and having her maybe with Steve would have been cool. And they seemed on the surface to have some decent chemistry. Somehow they insisted that she has to be not that she has to be like an LG character. Then that other guy, he has to be an LG character. Now, even with that, I kind of said, well, it felt a bit forced even to begin with. But in these 4 episodes, there's more and more moments that they actually talk to each other, sort of addressing this situation. And at some point, Yeah, it's tied into the story fine, I guess, and it's not that, like, I couldn't watch the episode or couldn't enjoy it, but I wish that shows didn't give in to whatever this is, because sometimes it does feel like some executive sat in a room and said, "What more can you do?" Can I feel like the guy from Variety, like, "Can you make it gayer?" You know what I mean? Like, "Is it the gayest Stranger Things that we ever had?" Or whatever it is the guy says. It feels like, it's unnecessary. It's just it, like there's sort of a fine line between doing this kind of representation in a way that's kind of seamless, nuanced, and whatever, and then crossing over to a little bit more propaganda. And there were people that also complained about other stuff. I think of even some conservative commentators about things with the kids and things like that were a bit pervy and things like that. I didn't really have an
Well,
issue. I didn't really have. It's a horror thing. I didn't really have an issue with some of the stuff that the people were saying. I'm not going to say that I wouldn't watch the episodes or there was nothing to enjoy, even in spite of the stranger agenda peddling. But I will say that I feel like they could have kept it a little bit on a lower flame, and they just couldn't help themselves. And and I don't know why all these shows and all these things, like, they all do it over and over again, and Hollywood is, like, crumbling. They don't understand later why people are annoyed or why it bothers them. Now, I'm sure Stranger Things is gonna do fine. I don't think that, you know, if there's one show that can do all this and it's still gonna be fine and people are gonna like it, it's this show, and I myself found a lot to enjoy in these 4 episodes, even though they weren't perfect, but I found some stuff to enjoy in it. I just think that it's too much.
Well, you just hit the main tagline that describes Hollywood these days. They cannot help themselves. That's pretty much universal.
Price, you said that you don't think that Stranger Things will be fine because in spite of this. So
I think so.
when were these romantic inclinations introduced? Was it just in this last season, or was it
The
further
thing is
earlier
that
in the
all
show?
of these ideas were introduced, but I feel like this season they kind of, took it up a notch.
Okay,
If they were sort of hinting, implying, and, more nuanced way or whatever you wanna call it, this season is, like, flat out, there's no nuance, no nothing. It's like, it's a lot less nuanced, and again, once it's 2 characters and it's less nuanced, I just I just think that,
so the fact that they kind of waited until the end, I mean, because they could this show has been a pretty hot topic for years now. People
yeah.
anticipate
they they,
every season
they
for
introduced they introduced Maya Hawke in season 3, and that's when we found out that she's into girls.
um, I forgot what I was saying. Sorry.
No, I find
No.
Maya Hawke pretty fetching, and she had some great chemistry with the male actor. I thought they were really like I would have believed in that relationship, and then suddenly it's like, oh, sorry, I like girls.
Yeah,
Damn.
that's another weird thing, the way they sort of try to force very odd and unusual chemistries. But look at Maya's parents, Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman. I would hope she would, she better be fetching.
She is.
Yeah, no, I think she's nice, and I don't know. I mean, I just it feels like a missed opportunity. Like, I'll say it, and then I'll stop dwelling on it. It's as if there was a path within the screenplay to incorporate Maya Hawke's character in a way that made more sense to the story, which would have been as another woman in the mix with Charlie, and maybe eventually resolving that love triangle, and making it so that everybody has somebody to be with. That could have been a much better resolution. And instead of setting that up, they went for, well, she doesn't like no men. She only likes women. But then they took another character and they're like, oh, he only likes men. And then they had, like I said in this season, they're bonding because they both like the opposite, whatever. And I just felt like it was just one step too far. Not enough for me not to watch it. I still like the show, but I couldn't. The fact that I was even thinking about it means that probably it's annoying, that aspect of it.
Well, the other thing is somebody who's lived in San Francisco for a very long time. gay women and gay men do not typically bond together, at least not from what I've seen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Gay men
probably
bond with straight women.
you're
Well, it's
probably
true.
right. But yeah, there's nothing we can do to change it. It is what it is. If nothing else, they didn't hijack somebody else's property. They did their own thing, and there's a lot of good things that happen on the show. I still think, I mean, we have still yet to see what happens in the next episodes. I still think that there were moments of this Stranger Things which I enjoyed watching, but I couldn't help but feel like been there, done that. We've already been a number of seasons into this. We've already seen them in a bunch of different situations, and some of it just felt like a bit kind of, I don't know if to say forced or going through the motions. It's not the best season. Like the first season is the best one. The second best is probably season 4. Then season 2 is then season 3. Where does this fall? Because this is a new one. I haven't seen the whole one. The whole one season. It's I think that it's not as good until now as season 1 or season 4, but it's better than season 3 and probably better than season 2. So it's something in the middle. That's what I'll say. And yes, the fact that these kids are so old is kind of distracting. Even they showed Sadie Sink as Max, and she looked different too.
You know,
Like
they were
all of them look different.
they were all about the age of the characters when they were cast. And I
Right, and
wonder if
it's been
they
100 years since they started, so now they're 100.
yeah, and I wonder if they did that because they wanted to make sure these kids weren't going to grow up ugly. Because I think like with Harry Potter, he looks the same now as he did when he was like 9 years old. He was super young when he was cast to play 11-year-old Harry Potter. Um, but these kids seem to have grown up a lot just in the last few years since the first season came out. So they did such a fantastic job of acting in the first season. So I think they really hit the ground running. They really did excellent jobs with the casting.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Hollywood years growing up. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough. So I hear.
Yeah, I guess. Something I'm trying to see what happened.
So when did the next you said there was 4 episodes dropped. How many total are there going to be? And when do they come out?
Well, there's 4 more coming out around Christmas and the last one on, I think
New
New
Year's.
Year's Eve.
Oh, really?
But all 4
Yeah.
of those episodes are feature length. Like, they're an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours long. So it's
Yeah.
definitely it's backloaded.
And the finale is going to be theatrically released.
If I put my nose to the grindstone, I might be able to get caught up. That will be a goal of mine.
You know what? I liked. I mean, it's not my favorite show of all time, but I enjoyed all the seasons, even season 3. Like I said, I can't. Despite any issues with the writing in terms of Maya Hawke, I quite enjoy watching her on screen, and I didn't mind that storyline. But I would still I would have to agree with the order that season 1's the best, and season 4 is the second best. So even though I enjoyed season 3, it was a bit of a dip.
Yeah, that's how I felt. But yeah, no. See, listen, I didn't suffer in season 2 or 3. I just think that season 4 was better than 2 and 3, significantly better. And this one is somewhere in the middle, but we'll have to see where it all goes. I do think that it's good that they're wrapping this up. There's only so much that you can continue a show like this. Cobra Kai also, it took it some time until it finally, you know, I think that they wasted a bit of time on Cobra Kai as well. But I will say that even though the last few seasons felt a little bit repetitive, I still enjoyed them, and I think that the final arc of episodes in Cobra Kai gave a very satisfying finale, very satisfying wrap up to the series.
Well, sticking the ending is the key thing.
They stuck the landing in a way that, like, I can't complain about the ending of Cobra Kai. They absolutely stuck the landing.
I mean, if you don't stick the landing, you end up like Game of Thrones.
I like
Yes.
I like a good ending. I've read some crappy books, and then the last 2 or 3 chapters were epic, and I clutched the book to my chest, and I think, what an amazing story. Forgetting all the garbage that came before it.
Well, that's how I feel about Andor. It was a lot of real slow going, but they pulled it out at the end for the most part.
Andor?
For
I don't know. I'll tell
that
you what, I think Andor, it had moments that I didn't mind, but overall, that show was slow with a
Uh,
ton of filler, with a lot of stuff that I thought just didn't need to be there.
Oh, I
And
absolutely agree.
$750 million worth.
Yeah,
a-
I
a-
agree. I'm just saying the ending was good for the most part.
and the lead actor was not very charismatic and awfully miscast from Rogue One until this series. Uh, people sometimes think, "Oh, you don't like him because he's Mexican." No, I like him fine. The thing is that his accent. Here's the problem, and this is a problem that a lot of times actors from different countries have in Hollywood. It is not easy if English isn't your first language to be able, and a language that you may not speak all day and all night, that like you're not used to speaking as much, and then suddenly you're the lead in a movie and you have to talk English in a way that you're going to win over the audience. It's not easy. Some actors do it better than others. The guy that plays he was just in that Jurassic World movie, played the father of the family. He was also in some kind of remake of The Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix. So they cast a guy who's like, he's supposed to be Mexican or whatever he is, but when he talks English, I feel like, his English, uh the way he pronounces the words and the way he delivers dialogue is a lot more convincing. You could tell there's a hint of an accent, but it's not a hint of an accent in a way that you think the guy isn't delivering his lines well or isn't bringing the right type of performance. But Diego Luna struggles with English. And I've seen Diego Luna in like Narcos, speaks really quickly with a lot of character, does something in Spanish, totally nails it. Once you bring him here and you tell him like speak in English, something that he's not used to doing, unfortunately, his performance is negatively affected. It's like the same thing with the guy from Squid Games. It's the same thing that we sometimes see recently with the type of roles that they've been giving Michelle Yeoh. Like, it's fine to give people, roles, and they could be foreign and they can be from different places. It could be diverse, but if they're not delivering their lines so great in English, it starts to become a problem. The only person that I know, like that I can think of that didn't really deliver his lines so great in English, but it didn't really matter, was Arnold Schwarzenegger. And that's because in his movies, you didn't really watch him thinking like, oh, he's like a Shakespearean actor. You saw his movies back in the day. He had a lot of muscles. He was going to beat everybody up. He would pull out a machine gun and shoot everybody. And that's the reason you watched it. And then he'd have his one-liners. They knew he couldn't act. That's why they gave him like 3 words to say. I'll be back. Like, get to the chopper. Like all of his things are like the most he'll say in a sentence is like 5 words, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. He was able to somehow say those 5 words and you didn't even care. Like you needed him to go beat up people. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
He was
noticed.
he was perfect.
Have you noticed how much Diego Luna is looking like Mandy Patinkin now? I keep expecting him to say, "You killed my father. Prepare to die."
Mandy Patinkin himself is kind of a weirdo today.
Yeah, but back in the day, man, he was phenomenal.
Yep. I mean, in Princess Bride, I think he was fantastic, Mandy Patinkin.
He was
But
really
these
good in that
days,
hospital show too. Chicago Hope.
Okay, I had to look up Diego Luna, what he looks like now, and you're totally right.
Yeah, he
He
does.
is.
See?
Diego Luna is pretty foxy, though. I like him.
Six, did you see what I just did with your avatar?
You made me bigger. Now I'm
Is
on
that
top.
good or bad?
Whatever you want, it's your show. Whatever you like.
Well, now you're in the same studio with Price.
Yeah, now we're hanging out.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, Arnold as Hercules was bizarre, uh, but he was good as Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, and his accent, he had quite a bit of charm, and he's very charismatic. So, but you're
Very
right.
charismatic. I explained this in my Running Man review recently that I think what people and sorry, Six, because this is probably going to sound chauvinistic or something, but I don't know how to make it that I don't sound that way. So I apologize in advance. But Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the 80s, this was a time where like there were only three things that this man did. Lift weights and then do like stuff at the gym like several hours a day. Spend time with the ladies in his trailer or wherever he was at. So women, lifting weights, and smoking cigars. And that was pretty much his agenda every day: cigars, weights, and women. And even when he was filming these movies, he was very much in that mindset of like the weights, the women, and the cigars. So anytime they film him and he has this, like, this kind of smirky grin on his face, that's because he's just like, he's living his I don't know if to say living his best life or whatever you want to call it, but he brings that energy to the screen every time they bring a camera out, and like he throws somebody in the air and like lifts something and whatever, and he says his one liner. Even if he doesn't deliver it that well, the guy is like, he's winning, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and he also says, as long as I have the cigar, as long as I have the weights and the women, I don't really need the cigars.
Yeah, so basically, he brings that charisma with him. Even if he doesn't deliver his lines so well, he has this kind of, that's the charm that he has that you see. And Six, maybe you'll find that offensive that I said it, but for the type of movies that he did, that's the kind of vibe you need for those characters. All his movies, like walking around beating up people, he's like talking to ladies, he has a machine gun. The fact that in real life that's kind of his attitude, and then you see it on screen, it was working. But
I don't have anything negative for him or towards him about that. If that's the life that he wants to lead, that's completely fine. In the same way that I used to smoke. I used to, go out to the bar and have a good time. But I can tell you that the happiest time in my life, when I was most content with the way everything in my life was going and I just had a joy about me, was when I wasn't doing any of that, was when I was attending church regularly. That's the happiest time that I've ever had in my life. And I'm grateful for that. I don't do that now, and I should. If that's the happiest I've ever been, I should try to get back to that. But if that's what he wants to do with his life, then have at it. I wouldn't associate with somebody like that, but I'm not going to put him in jail.
Everyone should definitely check out his first movie, Hercules in New York. It is such a classic.
Well, this is a surprise. We have Sean Crummell joining us. How's it going, Sean?
It's going. It's late. I'm tired. How are you?
Hey, Sean. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Oh, what's up? How's it going?
I don't even think I said one time sorry, Sean, throughout this whole stream until now.
How dare you?
I was keeping it clean. Maybe I felt bad because Six was here with her cat.
Yeah, you weren't swearing.
Oh, yeah, like all the cats.
Six, what do you think about how I now placed you in the background? Like now you're more organic here.
I kind of feel bad that I'm here too. Thanks. Now we're in agreement.
Oh, Six
you
is
feel bad?
definitely
Why do
in
you
your
feel
lap.
bad? I didn't hear what you said. Why do you feel bad? We're happy to have you here.
You just said you feel bad that I'm here.
No, I didn't say that at all.
I'll clip it. Let me go clip it. Talk amongst yourselves.
I think you misunderstood.
Hi, Sean.
Hi.
You know what I've decided I'm going to do? Sean has inspired this because I hope I didn't come across like I'm that last little rant that I did. One of the things I'd like to improve about myself is that I wish I didn't have such a potty mouth. And inspired by Sean and how we all apologize to him sincerely. Like I feel it sincerely when I swear while listening to Price, and I say it. If I swear during a stream, I'm going to send a super sticker. It's probably going to be poop, but it's going to be a super sticker. So that's going to be like because I wish that we had like a YouTube swear cup where if you swear, you put a quarter in, but I'm going to send a super sticker in honor of Sean.
That's cool.
And his
I'm
memory.
liking this panel. Like, look what's happening. This is such a surprising development. So,
I
Cool
forgot we
Mikey.
used to send poops all the time.
Cool Mikey just gave us a $2 Rumble rant, and he says, "I like your stream. It's good infotainment." Thank you. Infotainment. I'm gonna take it as a compliment. infotainment. It's like entertaining, but we give info. I am cool with that. Let's see what else we got. Let me find the stream for a second. I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats on the other end or whatever it is. If you see me making mistakes, let me know.
No, I think
Well,
you got a couple of good ones coming right there right now.
yeah, I forgot how we
Okay.
used to always do that.
Okay. I'm trying to pull this up. We have a lot of great technology here at the Night Owl.
Yeah, my Rumble rants still are not.
Okay, first of all, I'm sorry, the Dead Man. I only saw this now. I really apologize, but I'm going to share everything now in one fell swoop. How's it going, Sean? It's a nice surprise. You'd think that Thanksgiving would be the day that nobody is available, and this is the day that more people were available than usual.
No.
So we have Millie Bobby Brown doesn't have great genes. So the thing is that I'm not saying she doesn't have good genes. I'm just saying that somehow, in her case, she seems to be aging rather quickly. It's fine, so maybe sometimes that happens. I'm just saying that most of the time, like, you hope you age slowly. In her case, she kind of aged quickly. Istaphobos with a 99-cent poop sticker, and that is very kind of you, Ista. And then Sagacious 6 has 149. Peach, is it a peach?
It's a butt.
But it
In your
looks like a
lap.
peach. Oh, fine, it's a butt.
Work with me here, Price. It's a butt.
I will work with you. And then I think that the Dead Man has added more to the mix. So I have to update this. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can pull this off. I'm trying my best here. The Dead Man.
Just
Share
sounds
this.
worse all the time.
What'd you say?
I said it just sounds worse the more you speak about it.
The more I speak about what?
Sorry.
What did I say?
Sorry.
No, I want to know. I said something funny, so at least tell me what it was.
No, that's just my dirty brain.
No, it's okay. I probably said something stupid. Sorry. In any case, the Dead Man 99% poop sticker. Thank you, the Dead Man. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you to all of you guys, and also to the guy with Cool Mikey. That's also very nice of you. And yeah, by the way, even though it's Thanksgiving, if you're now watching on the Rumble app and you haven't logged in yet, or you didn't even sign up for the app, because I know some people just use it as an app to watch streams and they don't actually even open an account or log in. If you're watching it through an app, sometimes that's like on a TV. You should go to your phone or wherever you have a computer, also sign up. It's always good to have an account with Rumble because they really support free speech, which is something that we really like. And Rumble is like the main headquarters of this show. It's on a few other platforms, but Rumble is like the headquarters for this stream. You should definitely sign up. And once you've signed up, if you haven't already signed up, make sure to follow us and make sure that you get notifications. So then in the future, when we do more streams, you'll know right away, which was probably your dream. In any case, Sean, did people have a lot of people, because Sean is in the whole he has a first-hand knowledge when it comes to cinemas and things like that. Are a lot of people now, what's the movie that everybody's seeing? Or they're all seeing Wicked 2?
It's all Zootopia.
Zootopia?
30-ish people are showing.
Is it any good, the Zootopia thing? I saw a friend of ours, Nick, was saying that it had dirty jokes in it and things like that. Did you watch it?
Nope. I was off for 4 days. I went to Tennessee and got a crack in our windshield, so I've not been to the movies.
All right. Well, the truth is, I didn't see the first Zootopia. I was going to see the second one, but then I'd have to watch the first one, and I just didn't get around to it. There's so much stuff going on, and at the end, it's some animals talking for kids. I'm sure it has some shitty agendas. Sorry, Sean. Some shitty agendas. Sorry, Sean, again. And
It was alright. It did feel a little bit agenda-y and a weird, like, going against your innate nature.
so
But
you've seen Zootopia too?
the first one,
Oh, the first one? Well, the second one, and this again, sorry, I'm mentioning him. Badger told me that I think it was Badger, maybe it was somebody else. I think it was Badger that told me that there was kind of a anti-West colonizing type of thing in there, which now, like a lot of those Disney ones, love to shove in there. That's like their new thing that they love to be obsessed with.
Mhm.
I guess maybe it's not as blunt as it was on some other stuff, but this is what they like now. If you saw James Gunn's Superman, again, that agenda. Mufasa had that same agenda. It's like there's always some bad Western colonizers coming in, and they're the bad guys. Sometimes their other obsession now is anybody that's not of the same political opinion as them somehow gets painted as sort of a German mustache man. That's another thing that they love to kind of slip into these type of things. Those are less for kids, more for the serious ones, but they love that kind of stuff in Hollywood.
Well, Zootopia 2 is cooking on Rotten Tomatoes with 91 critics and 95 audience, but on Metacritic, we have a little more realistic rating. It's basically the low 70s. It's a 7.0 user and a 73 critic score. So,
Let me see for a second. The
Yes.
thing is,
Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
Yesterday, I looked at the ticket sales for today, and I compared Wicked and Zootopia. Zootopia was, and I understand it's day after Thanksgiving, so it's going to affect the ticket sales, but Zootopia showings for starting in the morning throughout the afternoon, 95% sold out. Wicked, maybe 5% sold. I just thought
Yeah.
that was interesting.
So you
Yeah.
think Wicked is tanking this weekend?
I definitely think Wicked is tanking because of Zootopia 2. I think that Zootopia 2 is going to win the weekend.
Even Culture Casino did a video I saw where he was saying that he thinks it's going to have a huge drop off because the people that wanted to see it have already seen it.
yeah, it's very front loaded.
Yeah, it is probably very front loaded. I think that it'll have some staying power. Then maybe some people go watch it again. There are people that like that thing and want to watch it again. But even people that enjoyed the first one, I didn't really like the first one, and I like the second one even less. But people that enjoyed the first one, they too enjoyed the second one a little less. And the first one was more of a novelty. It was new. It was fresh. So I think that this one, if the first one made $750 million, I don't think that this one's going to make $750 million. I think that this one is more looking at 500 to 600 million. Still, they filmed both movies together. I assume that after all is said and done, it's probably not going to be a money loss for them. But I think that they may have been able to make more money. Perhaps maybe if those two stars that they had didn't look like two weirdos in every interview they had, maybe they would have made more. Maybe not. I don't know.
But don't
It's all.
you think that a
it's
lot
also-
of people are talking about Wicked because of those two weirdos?
Maybe it's good for them. But I also know that internationally, Wicked isn't as strong as it is here in the U.S. For some reason, it doesn't interest people abroad as much. But who knows? Zootopia, 91%, 95%. I didn't realize until now that it stars Jennifer Goodwin. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So I probably have told this story before, but who cares? I once went to a premiere. I can say it. Who cares? It's late. I talk too much anyways about stuff that I shouldn't. I was at a premiere for the movie Walk the Line, and at the end of the movie, I was kind of standing outside. Maybe I was waiting for a cab, or I don't really know. And then I suddenly looked next to me, and it was Jennifer Goodwin, and she's in that movie. And I believe it was the first time she was ever in a movie. Her name is Jennifer, but she spells it like Jennifer. Like if you were doing kind of like an impression of what you perceive to be a redneck, you'd probably say her name like that, Jennifer.
She probably does some gin tie-ins.
Probably. So in any case, she stood next to me, and I looked at her, and I saw her in the movie, and I said, "Hey, I just saw you in the movie." And she was actually really nice, and I think she was nervous because it was like a premiere and the first time she was in a movie. So she asked me like, How did I do? Did I do okay?" And I said, "Yeah, you were great. Like you did good." And I actually thought that she was good in the movie. I'm like, "Yeah, I know it was perfect. Whatever you did was good." It was the only time that somebody was nice to me, like, and I actually responded with a nice reaction. It's
You
like
were you weren't like, where's your apron?
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
do.
ask her where the apron was. She seemed nice. Why would I ask her that? She seemed pleasant.
You
The
do
only
realize,
time
like,
somebody's been nice.
What'd you
ev-
say?
The only time somebody's been nice to you, is that what you said?
No, there were actually maybe two occasions that I think people were genuinely nice to me. One
Oh,
was
that's terrible.
Jennifer Goodwin, and the other one was what's her name? Oh, I'm blanking on her name.
Leslie.
Jane Seymour.
No, she wasn't nice to me. She hated me.
Al
Oh,
Pacino.
Donna.
How can I forget her name? Oh, Kristen Wiig.
Stormy Daniels.
Okay.
Kristen Wiig was nice to me.
Oh,
And
okay.
I that's why, like, even if I'm on a stream and like people are like making fun of her or whatever, I usually either say nothing or say, you know what, she was nice to me.
You,
Have to point that out.
you do realize that everybody is in this movie. It's like it's Macaulay Culkin, Patrick Warburton, Jean Reno, Idris Elba, Andy Sandberg. Like the cast list is crazy. It looks like
I
there's about
see. But you
6
said,
people.
is there somebody that was in the previous one that didn't carry over into the new one?
I'm not aware.
I thought Kristen Bell, or was there somebody that was here and they replaced her? Let me see. Zootopia 2 cast change. Let's see.
No main characters had been replaced.
Oh,
Got
okay.
I would say if I just came across that name, I would say it's Guinevere or Guinevere.
Finnick the Fox, the guy
Like
who voiced him, died.
No, I think her name is Jennifer. She was also in that show after she did that Walk the Line thing. She was on the show Big Love. That was a weird show.
Oh, is that the Mormon one?
It was the Mormon one where Bill Paxton had 4 wives. The one thing I'll say is that, like, after you watch the show with him and his 4 wives, you understand why having 4 wives is a major headache. Like, yeah, Mormon or not Mormon or bigamist, whatever you want to call him, polygamist. You watch that movie and it's like it's almost like a PSA, that show, of why you better not marry 4 ladies.
Yeah, I
I'm
got
not
to
going to be
season 3.
sexist. I'm going to say
got to
having 4 spouses would be a nightmare.
I got to season 3 of that, and he's trying to organize which days he's going to sleep with which wife. That was kind of a moment for me. I was like, oh.
I mean, listen, it's an interesting dilemma to be in, but at the same time, like, the amount of headache and nonsense, and they showed this on the show. This wife is annoyed. This wife is jealous of that. She's annoyed with this one. They're all kind of like maneuvering and doing all this political stuff, and he's just trying to like juggle everything. It seems so exhausting, 4 wives, that is exhausting. Even if you
Every
can
time
choose
you
which
buy
days.
flowers.
What'd you say?
I was saying every time you had to buy flowers, you have to get 4 bouquets. Like,
what if you forget which one you're apologizing to, and then she gets mad at you, and then the other one's mad at you too?
Oh, Professor R2 that says that she hasn't been popular in Hollywood because of certain things that I won't highlight here. But I didn't know all of that. All I know is that I met her and she was nice, and that's all I can say. And Kristen Wiig was nice too. But actually, if I had to say like vibe wise, who seemed like a nicer vibe, I'd say that like Jennifer Goodwin seemed nicer. But again, keep in mind, I saw her in the first time that anybody saw her in anything, and like probably today she'd be standing there and like with her nose in the air. It just happened that in that moment in time I was just like we were equals.
well, she might be
And
a
now
nice
she's a
person.
celebrity.
I did want to mention it's been a general critics consensus that while the majority demographic for Wicked like the Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande's behavior is perfectly fine with them. They do think that their weirdness has turned off a lot of borderline people that might have gone to see the movie, but otherwise were a bit turned off at how freakishly weird they're behaving. So it might have cost them, you know, it might have cost them a few million, if not 100 million at the box office.
I see. Professor
But for
R2
the
says,
main fan base, like they don't care. They probably like that sort of thing.
Professor R2 says she's not from Hollywood. She's not Hollywood royalty. Goodwin is from Mississippi. She seemed very kind of down to earth. Maybe that's the reason.
Well, that explains the spelling.
The Jennifer. That's exactly what I was saying. See, I got it right. I didn't even know what
Yeah,
I was
you
talking
nailed
about.
it.
I got it.
Yep.
Nailed it.
That's how we
They-
spell stuff down here in the bayou.
They probably just didn't know how to spell it, and then they gave them the birth certificate, and they're like, "How do you spell Jennifer?" And then somebody said Jennifer, and then they wrote it on the birth certificate, and that was her name. The thing is, Sean is imagining it, and he knows that I'm right. He knows that that's how this whole thing went down. Nobody wants to admit it. They just didn't know how to spell it.
Just have the most ridiculous looking stereotypical Southern DMV in my head. Or whatever.
It's like it's the hospital, though. They have to fill it in. Don't they have to fill out a form? What do they do?
Yeah.
Jennifer.
Well, there's some. I'm not going to say. There's some pretty bad jokes about that sort of thing.
In
So
any case, so Zootopia 2, you're saying, Sean, is doing well? Like, people are going to see this?
Yeah, but like that's not surprising. There's been like nothing for a few months, and then Wicked came out, and suddenly everyone's at the theater, and then this is like the only family movie that's really come out in a few months, so everybody's going out to see it.
But did you hear about the hoax that embarrassed all of the media and studios?
I work all the time, so I don't.
No, that Cosmic Marvel website posted, and I think we might have mentioned this the other day. They posted an expected 400 million first week box office. It was completely wrong. Anything that anybody knows about movies.
He posted 400 for who? For what?
For Zootopia 2, but all of the media outlets ran with it like it was real. I mean, that is a ridiculous number for an opening weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, Professor R2 says that she was born Jennifer Michelle Goodwin, but then she changed her spelling for SAG. They do that if you have like another person that's listed in Screen Actors Guild with the same name, then they have to call it something else.
Yeah, wasn't Michael Keaton's name Michael Douglas, but when he went to register for SAG, it was taken, and so
that's exactly right. So he had to go to Michael Keaton. You hear a lot of stories like this that people change something for it, and it's funny. Once something like that happened, David Bowie, but that's not the same thing as SAG. But David Bowie, his real name was David Jones. But what happened was Davy Jones was popular in the Monkees, and he was already listed as Davy Jones. So David Bowie decided that he needed a different name. He couldn't be David Jones. He didn't want to be, and also couldn't be. So I think that he had a knife, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. And the brand of the knife was Bowie. So he called himself David Bowie.
It's interesting how many of your streams end up talking about the Monkees.
hey.
Sorry, this one was organic though. I don't know how we got to it, but yeah, I mean, we were talking about name changes, and they did change the names.
I can't imagine Bowie having any other name. It's so perfect for him. Like,
it is perfect. It's just, it worked out really well. Plus, he had one eye that was green and one eye that was like blue, and you think, oh, that's kind of cool. But the reason he had it is, I think he was a kid and somebody punched him in the eye, and it changed like his eye's color. Something happened, so it's not like he was born like it was some exotic thing. I think somebody like punched him, and then he had that. But that was another thing. He had the name. He had like the different eyes. All of this stuff, like, I don't know, a lot of luck. Things that seemed unlucky turned into things that were lucky for him.
Yeah, I don't know if he's Yeah, there's a small percentage of people with heterochromia that's caused by trauma rather than genetics. Interesting.
Yeah, well, so Zootopia 2, it is what it is. There's something else. What did I see? And I talked about this with Robot Head earlier. I saw this show All's Fair with Kim Kardashian. Have you heard of this show?
Oh yeah, I haven't watched it, but I've heard everybody's talking about it, and it just astonishes me that something like this could get made and that people are actually watching it. I've just uh it's actually quite sad. It's such a dumpster fire and another legal show written by people who don't know anything about the law. It's all like
Yeah.
blackmail and stuff, right?
So basically, let me see if I can show you this. The Rotten Tomato score is 3%, and the audience score is 65%. So I have to admit, this is the only reason I watch this is because of Robot Head. He wanted to, do a stream where we talk about this show. He's like, you got to watch it. And I am ashamed to say that I watched 3 episodes of this show. And man, is it bad. But the truth is, as bad as it is, I don't think that I'm the target audience for it. This is a show where Kim Kardashian is the main protagonist. She plays a lawyer, and very, very difficult for me to explain how bad this show is. But think to yourself something like Sex in the City meets Suits with a very kind of gay twist, and executed very, very poorly, written poorly, made very poorly.
Isn't there some She-Hulk in there too?
It's like She-Hulk. Hard to believe. She-Hulk is a disaster, but it's almost like a disaster that you have a little bit of fun watching, as in spite of how bad it is, so you could at least have a good laugh at it. But this one is so bad that at some point you're just looking at it and you can't believe like how bad it is. And I think that like it makes me laugh less at some point. Like, fine, initially there were a few stupid things that I could chuckle at how bad it was, but 2-3 episodes into it, it's really exhausting about how bad it is. Basically, there's this group of lawyers that work together, and they wanted to like represent ladies who are getting divorces. All the men on the show are obviously like the worst men ever. All the women are like, you go girl, whatever. They're all like dressed with all this fashion and stuff. Nothing I can say can really explain how bad it is, really. But the like, you have actresses like Glenn Close and Naomi Watts who are legitimately good actresses, really good actresses, and you could tell how you can tell how embarrassed they are to even be there. You have an actor like Ed O'Neill who has like a small role. You could tell that Ed O'Neill is hoping that none of his friends realize that he's on this show. It is so embarrassing.
Isn't Glenn Close on there, for God's sake?
Glenn Close is on there, and she seems embarrassed to be there. But at the end of the day, this is a show that capitalizes on Kim Kardashian's popularity. It's meant to sort of appeal to women who like trashy soap operas / reality shows / fashion. None of the writing here makes any sense whatsoever.
I'm sure she's not so embarrassed when she picks up her check.
They must have gotten paid good money to do this. I think that they got good money to do it. I think that Kim Kardashian herself is like, on a business level, the driving force behind this project. I think that by bringing these ladies who are legitimate actresses, surrounding her, it gives her seemingly a little more legitimacy, even though her acting is terrible. There's one scene, where she sits and explains all the plastic surgery she got to look fresh, including like, a lengthy monologue about getting her vagina renovated. This goes on for a while in one of the episodes.
Is
just so you
this her
understand, like, what.
character or in real life?
See, the thing is, I was thinking to myself, maybe that was, like, unscripted. Maybe she just, like,
Hmm.
they just sat around and she talked about her real operations, and they're like, "Let's just keep it in there." It's the only time where, like, she actually is convincing in her acting.
Well, this was her big vanity project before she knew she was gonna fail the bar twice.
Yeah, I assume that,
Is that a true story? She was going to be a lawyer?
Yeah, she
okay,
went to law school, she graduated, but you can't pass
wait,
the
wait, wait.
bar.
It's more complicated than that. The thing is that generally speaking, in order to be a lawyer, you have to go to law school, you have to do a bunch of things, and then you have to pass the bar exam. Now, Kim Kardashian did a workaround. There is a loophole in California that if you, for a certain amount of years, worked as a paralegal at a accredited law firm or something like that, and you had somebody who was quote unquote your mentor at that law firm, if you do enough years and get all the recommendations, I believe you don't have to do the law school. So what happened was is that, she went to some law firm and said, "Hey, I'm Kim Kardashian. Don't you want me to say that I work here?" Now, maybe she also did something. I'm not, canceling out. Maybe she did something. I don't want to be an asshole. Sorry, Sean. Maybe she did something. But generally speaking, if she wasn't Kim Kardashian, do I think that law firms would be all like jumping to give her this backing? I'm not sure they would have. But she did that. And then at the end, she got to the point where she needs to do the bar exam. And now I guess she failed it. I'm not saying, I mean, you could fail the bar exam. It's not that nobody could fail it. I'm just saying that she did have a lot of advantages up until that point. Maybe she was hoping that she'll just pass it. This show will come out. And it's like reality meets, like, fiction meets art or whatever you want to call it. But she didn't even pass the bar. So the fiction didn't meet the art.
I was it someone else's idea to think that she was an actress? Because I was a little shocked when you started describing the show and it wasn't another reality thing.
Well, listen, there's only 4 states that allow for legal apprenticeships in lieu of law school, and it has to be formal and supervised and documented. And I guarantee you, there is no way that she fulfilled all of her prerequisites.
One of the things that you could tell that people don't even understand how to write. The people that are writing this are just like it's writing on the level of like a trashy reality show. Like it's not. There's so many stupid things that happen here. Like Kim Kardashian in this show, she's going out with a football player, or she's married to a football player. Now, this football player, she mentions at some point that he has 3 Super Bowl rings, and somebody mentions that he has a lot of sponsorships. So that means he's a big football star. But then when he divorces her, he wants all of her money because she's the main breadwinner. And I'm like, how does that work? Do you understand how much football players make? Even if she's like a rich woman, I don't think it's a situation that he's like, a gold digger after her money. I don't think he needs that with the kind of star they're presenting. So that doesn't make any sense. They also add some weird element that he has an affair with like a transformer person. All this weird stuff. And each time there's like a lady that she's in trouble that she wants to get a divorce, so they come out and like humiliate her husband and then like win the case for them. That's mainly what they do. They're like divorce lawyers for ladies. So there was one guy that had this like wife, and I don't know if she signed a prenup or whatever. So they found out that he went to like a dominatrix place and liked it when people shoved things up his how do I say it?
Crankshaft?
I guess this
Muffler?
crap shaft. What did you call it?
Crankshaft?
Crankshaft. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So he likes being things shoved into there, and they had evidence of it. So he forfeits his case and signs over all the money to the lady. This is the kind of level. If you're expecting like plots, this is what's happening on the show. Like this is a real plot that happened on the show. I really don't even know. And the funny thing is, there's one part where they're like, "Oh, like if you don't sign over all this money, we'll tell like the press that this football player guy is having an affair with like a transformer person." And then they're like, "Listen, like you don't want to be like J.K. Rowling." This is like the weirdest dialogue. I'm telling you, I can't. Nothing I say will really recreate how bad this is. But yes, it's really something baffling. And the funniest thing is, it's been renewed for a second season. Apparently, the ratings are through the roof. Some people say that it's hate watchers. Some people say that it's just. I think it's not hate watchers. I think the main thing is there's a lot of ladies that either know that this is a guilty pleasure or the kind of ladies that like soap operas. And these ladies are like on the show are always wearing all this fashion and stuff like that. Maybe there's a reason, but this is a really really bad show.
It's not like they filmed a bunch of episodes and they're splitting it up into 2 seasons because they
No,
No, they've renewed this for a second season. This is doing great numbers for them. That's what they say, and I believe it.
yeah,
And
it's
they've
on the
renewed
Hulu's
it.
top 10.
They I was saying earlier before I was telling Robot Head that I bet like Glenn Close and Naomi Watts thought to themselves, this thing is going nowhere. Nobody's gonna want to watch this crap. We'll just do this show. It'll get canceled after one season. We'll collect our checks. I bet you in the past like 48 hours, I think it was renewed. I'd like to see like Glenn Close's face when her agent calls her and he's like, Glenn, I got some good news. You know that show you're doing with lawyers and Kim Kardashian? And she's like, yes, it's been renewed. And she probably was like, oh, it's wonderful. And then she hung up. She's like, shit.
This is the kind of thing that makes me think Ivo Shandor was right. The guy from Ghostbusters that built the tower.
That's from the second one, I think. No.
I think it's the first because he thought he built the Gozar
Oh,
summoning
he's the one
device.
Shandor. Yeah, sorry. He's the one that built the whole thing with the building and the thing.
Right.
Sorry, yeah.
Because he thought the human race didn't deserve to exist, and stuff like this makes me inclined to agree with him. Oh,
What was
by
the
the
bad
way,
guy's name in the second one? What was the bad guy's name in the second one? I forgot.
oh, it was the
Vigo.
Carpathian Vigo.
Vigo. Yes, I swat Vigo and Shandor. I apologize. It's a late hour.
So when you're doing the apprenticeship in California, you have to pass an exam after your first year as an apprentice. They call it the baby bar, and she failed it 3 times before she passed.
Oh, really? So wait. So she failed the baby bar 3 times, but at the end she passed it.
Yeah, but it's really easy compared to the real bar because you take it after your first year of apprenticeship, which is like 25 hours a week for an entire
I'm
year.
going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I'm not sure that all those years that she was supposed to be at that law office doing paralegal stuff,
Yeah.
I'm not sure she was there all the time doing it. I'm sure that somebody's going to sign the documents and say she was there 24/7 doing it. I'm just not sure how much she was really doing it. And
I think if
that's
you looked
probably
at her
why it's not
social,
so easy to pass this stuff.
yeah, I think if you looked at her social media, you could actually physically prove that she could not possibly have been there because she posts all of her stuff all day long. You could probably make a calendar, an itinerary of her and prove that there's no way she was spending 25 hours a week there. All of her time is pretty much accounted for in social media. So
I believe it. So I guess what I'm saying is this show is really really bad, and I wish you had watched it because it's hard for me to describe it without the assistance of other people brainstorming to explain why this is bad. It's also like they're lawyers, but they break the law and do stuff like that. Nobody even cares. It's like there's nobody. The writers here are not paying attention to anything. Nobody cares if it makes any sense. Plot holes don't really matter. It's the lowest form of like soap opera-ing.
well, isn't
Six,
it all
would you
about
watch a show like this?
isn't it all about you go girl, men are bad? Like it's just basically a revenge fantasy.
I want to hear it is, but I want to hear Six's opinion. What do you think, Six?
Oh,
You'll watch it?
what show are you talking about?
All's Fair? The one with Kim Kardashian?
Oh, that's not my kind of. I'm not interested in anything that's even like remotely. I like fantasy, supernatural. I like stuff that could never happen. Whereas the show, it sounds like it.
Have you been watching Pluribus?
What's that?
Have you been watching Pluribus?
I don't have Apple,
I see.
but I've
Has
been
anybody
hearing
been watching
I've been
Pluribus
hearing
except
really good things about it, so I'm thinking about getting it just to watch
Uh,
it.
yes, that's one of the shows that I wanted to say kind of really fired on all cylinders this week. It's still really slowly paced, but this episode was really quite interesting and good, and
I feel
ended
like
on a cliffhanger.
I feel like, and I'm not sure, I feel like I fell asleep maybe before the episode ended or not. I don't really know. I feel like I haven't. I got to the final episode, but I for some reason think I fell asleep while watching it. Maybe it was a bit slow. I like the idea of what's going on the show. I think that there's a very, very interesting idea here. Vince Gilligan is a guy who is brilliant. He also was, contributed a lot to the original X-Files series, and then made Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. There's no doubt that Vince Gilligan is the real deal. And I
Absolutely.
know that like he would do this kind of high concept, bizarre show like Pluribus better than most other people. But even Vince Gilligan, it's not easy to take a high concept like this and stick the landing. And that's what I keep worrying. Like maybe I'm just at this point,
Yeah.
I have so little faith in people. I'm giving him the minimum credit that I'm hoping he knows what he's doing. I hope it doesn't fall off a cliff. That's what I
Well,
keep worrying about.
if he wants to stretch it out for 5 seasons, I don't think he wants to stick the landing. I think this would make an excellent 2-hour movie, but it's already pushing it just to be a 10-episode TV series. But do you want to recap for the episode 5?
I believe I fell asleep in the middle of it, so I'm kind of like I'm hesitant. Don't want to ruin it for me.
Okay. Uh,
There
um,
was something I'm trying to remember. There was a guy that in one episode she talked to him, and he was what's his face? He's a guy that spoke Spanish, and she cursed him out.
oh yeah, that was 2 episodes ago.
Oh, okay. And no, but then what happened is that there was another episode that showed that from his angle, his perspective.
Right, that was 1 episode ago.
And then what is the episode? There's one after that?
Yeah, so in previous episodes, she goes and steals some sodium pentothal and gives it to
Right. She
Zarisa.
wanted to do a truth serum on that
Right.
lady.
And she almost killed her.
Right.
And so this episode, they start. She's in the hospital. She's going to be okay. She's sitting in her bed drinking milk, and then everybody leaves Albuquerque. Like she goes out and looks, and the entire town is evacuating while she's asleep. And when she picks up the phone, they leave her a recording saying, "We still care about you, Carol, but we need some space." And so she's completely abandoned, alone in the town. And wolves start getting into her yard and trying to dig up her girlfriend's grave.
I see.
Even
So
out of context, the phrase "and then everybody evacuated
Yeah.
Albuquerque" is hilarious to me.
yeah, well, there's a lot. Well, no, there's no and then storytelling in this. It's really well structured. My only criticism is the glacial pace. Although sodium pentothal really shouldn't work on a hive mind because you have 8 billion other minds. It's weird. Like we don't really know how it all works. But so the problem comes when her trash starts piling up and the wolves dug all the trash out of your yard. So she asks them to come pick up her trash, and she makes a discovery when she's trying to get rid of her trash. And I can stop there if you don't want it.
Yeah, no, don't say any more. I'll watch it.
Yeah, this one was much more engaging than the other ones. Finally feels like some momentum's going. I hardly fast forwarded at all through this episode, and I'm very excited to see the next one. So she does sort of end on a cliffhanger. And at first she thought this is going to be really bad. Now that everybody's gone, there's no one for her to interact with. This is going to
Pure
get more
Blood
boring.
based berserker on Rumble says that he loves Pluribus, which is good to know.
I think
Yeah.
that should be a pull line for the show, though. I hardly had to fast forward at all.
Yeah, well, That is true. It is glacial in its pacing, but even for Apple TV, which in general are all slowly paced because I think they all started out as movies that they had to
Hmm.
stretch out into a series. A very few television shows on Apple TV seem to organically started as television shows. Like what's the Ted Lasso one was very well paced because I think it was originally written as a show.
Weird.
They all have great production values and they are all extremely slow. That's pretty much Apple TV. They look great and they move very sloth like, but there were a
So
couple other shows that surprised me this week. If you want
wait,
to get
before we
into
get to that, so we
Mhm.
have some super chats. We have the Dead Man with a 99-cent poop sticker. Thank you, the Dead Man. Always good to get poop from you. We have Professor R2, member for 14 months. Nice, Professor. Then we have Egon. You said not to cross the streams. Of course, that's a Ghostbusters reference. And yeah, I somebody wrote here that Vigo was a wrestler. The actor that played him, I didn't know that. I will say that in that painting, that Vigo guy looked very spooky. That was one thing that they did well in Ghostbusters too. But ultimately, I've never I've never been as excited about Ghostbusters 2 as I was about the first one. I
Yeah.
absolutely love the first one. I've seen it a million times growing up. The second one I watched like a few times. It's not as good. There's just you can feel when if the first one is like lightning in a bottle, capturing all the possible magic, the second one is like kind of going through the motions.
But the difference between sequels in the 80s and now is that we all knew the sequel wasn't going to be as good, but we were still like eager to check it out. But they were budgeted appropriately. None of the sequels in the 80s got anywhere near the budgets as their original because they knew they weren't going to do as well. Now, man, you get like triple the budget for a sequel that ends up doing half of the viewership of the original, and it turns out to be not good at all.
Yeah, I mean the first one is just amazing. I love thinking about the 80s that people went to like a studio and pitched them, "Hey, we got some guys in New York like busting ghosts, like let's make that movie." And they're like, "Sure, let's do it." People today don't think of these kind of fresh ideas. Nobody does anything interesting or creative. They're all just looking to find something that somebody else made years ago and try to piggyback on it or rehash it or whatever. So few original ideas. I was doing a stream before where I was talking about movies that we had in 1987, and man, every movie that year there was so many great movies, and we don't get that anymore.
I
Oh
I
yeah,
saw.
want to see if maybe Ghostbusters was 1984. So let's see 1984 uh, movie releases.
I
Let's see if I
saw a
can find.
guy on Instagram, or I see a guy every once in a while. I think he's some kind of producer, and he's talking about how studios are so massively in debt now that they can't even afford to take a risk on an original concept.
yeah, but it's funny. The risk aversion is actually causing them to incur more losses. I
Yep.
think Bill Murray has been in almost three perfect movies. I think Ghostbusters is damn near perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Groundhog Day is also near perfect movie.
Mm-hmm.
Lost in Translation. Like, how many other actors can you say did like three perfect films? Oh, Scrooged. He's in
That's one of
four
my
perfect movies.
favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, they may not be the best, but for what they were perfect for the kind of movies they were. Like, he's got a hell of a record, man.
Yep.
Oh, and it's Christmas, so it's definitely time to put Scrooged on the big screen and have the
Heck yeah.
family come over and watch it. We love
So
that movie.
I want to look at 1984 movies. Okay, the same one that Ghostbusters came out. Are you ready?
Yep.
Let's look at what movies we had in 1984.
There are going to be a lot of bangers.
So we got the Terminator. Terminator 1 is the best Terminator movie.
It
Even
is.
2. 2 may be a better production, but number 1 is the better movie when it comes to the writing. Number 1 is the better movie, in my opinion.
Heck yeah.
Like 1 didn't even need a sequel. If you think about it, it ends in a way that leaves it leaves it some really great movie just as is. And most sequels would have been just a disaster. It's just James Cameron did such a good job with a sequel that you kind of let it slide, that the writing even isn't that great, but it's still a very fun sequel. But after that, it was all downhill. That's Terminator 1 and 2 is really the Terminator movies. Once Upon a Time in America, you
Oh,
know,
that's an excellent movie.
it's an
Robert
excellent
De Niro.
movie. Quite honestly, I believe I've watched it maybe, once years ago. I remember liking it, but it's not a movie that maybe I need to revisit it. But I didn't dislike it. I thought it was good. It has some good actors in it. Uh, the Gremlins,
Love
great.
it.
Amadeus. Some people like Amadeus. I was okay with it. There's some people that like that movie more than me, but at least, and this is the same thing I said before because I did it for a different year, is look how different these movies are. Every
Yeah.
single movie I just said, completely different. Terminator is sci-fi, horror, slasher, whatever you want to call it. Once Upon a Time America, crime, period piece, gangsters, Gremlins, also different.
Fantasy horror.
Fantasy horror, Amadeus, period piece, historical, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly Hills Cop was like a game-changing movie
Yeah,
when
it
it
was
came,
awesome.
when it came to this stuff, because I don't know, people usually don't know this, but Beverly Hills Cop was supposed to be a movie for Sylvester Stallone, where he's in Beverly Hills and he plays a cop. And his version of the cop was like not funny at all. He would be like, "Hey, yo, I'm the cop here," yeah. And
Right.
that's what it was supposed to be. And somehow I think that what happened was he took the screenplay, he thought it was stupid, and he started rewriting the screenplay. And then he said, "Well, this is the movie that we're going to make." And they told him, like, surprisingly, they told him, like, no, like, this isn't what the movie is supposed to be. We had a completely different vision for it. It's supposed to be a little lighter. You're making it more like action, more gritty. I don't know what they wanted. In any case, they said they parted ways. And then all of his ideas that he put into Beverly Hills Cop, he took them back for himself and he reworked them into the screenplay of Cobra. So the
Yep.
movie Cobra basically was sort of a spin-off, if you want, of Beverly Hills Cop. Like
Well,
his
it's his
ideas
version
from
of
Beverly Hills Cop became Cobra. But now they kind of didn't know what to do, and they had a meeting and they're like, why don't we put Eddie Murphy in it? It was really out of left field. This, like, today everybody's like, oh, it's obvious Eddie Murphy is like Beverly Hills Cop. It was not obvious at that moment at all. So bringing him with his improv, with his comedy, along with kind of a more legitimate action situation, it was really one of the early cases where they kind of mixed a bit of humor in the way that they did, along with actual, like, a real crime that's happening and some police. And yeah, lightning in a bottle. I mean, Beverly Hills Cop, awesome movie. Ghostbusters, different than all the ones that we just said until now. Like I said, guys in New York busting ghosts, completely out of left field. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Ista, you talked about sequels being shitty. Sorry, Sean. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So, I know some people don't like it. Some people like this one the least out of the three. I love this movie.
I love it.
I love it. People are like, aren't you sad that they eat, like, the chilled monkey's brain? Whatever. No, as a kid, I sat there in the theater. I was a little kid, and I was amazed by the fact that they were eating the thing. I was sitting there at the edge of my seat. I love this thing. Also, the whole Yo Mom Shiba with the heart and whatever. I love this thing. I love this movie as is. I feel like they built a lot of suspense with, like, the original guy that goes in the flames and what they do to him. And then when Indy is in that position, what's at stake. So yeah, thought it was great. Never-ending story.
Mola is like one of my favorite villains in any movie.
I agree.
Sorry, go ahead.
Never-ending story. Another one. Just completely different than all the movies we've seen until now. Magical as a kid, at least. Such a fun movie to watch. I absolutely loved it as a kid. And The Karate Kid, another one, like you said, it's banger after banger here.
Yeah, huge success.
Paris,
Now,
Texas. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember this one. What's Paris, Texas?
this movie is incredible, but it's not the kind of movie you're going to watch over and over again. Dean Stockwell and Harry Dean Stanton.
Oh,
are
wow.
amazing.
Dean Stockwell is in it, and I've never even watched it. I'll have to give it a shot.
Yeah, it's about this This homeless guy who tries to come home and reconnect with all the people in his life. I mean, it's really good. But like I said, it's sort of like that movie this year, Warfare. Amazing film. I have no desire to
Great
watch
Tom
it
Hanks.
again. But if you were a kid in '84, yeah, you wouldn't have watched this. But this is an excellent movie.
Chronologically, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is the first movie, but
Once I discovered it was a prequel, I actually enjoyed the movie a lot more.
yeah, I enjoyed it. The first time around, I didn't even realize it was like a prequel to anything. Only later, years later, it occurred to me that it was actually like a prequel.
Well, Raiders is such an amazingly perfect movie. It's kind of hard to top, but they managed to do 3 really excellent um Indiana Jones movies. That in itself is an achievement.
It's funny that in those days, nobody even cared. Like nobody even remembered they did a prequel. They just did it, and everybody was like
Yeah,
fine with it. Thought it was great though. The
forgot to
next
get
thing,
to my favorite movie.
which one's your favorite movie?
Well, it's the number 12.
Oh, okay. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street. I really like, and the first one. The first one is a slam dunk. I
Absolutely.
absolutely love the first one. It's really quality wise the best one out of all of them. Even though I enjoy some of the other ones because I just like
Yeah.
it. But
Johnny Depp too, right? Like,
Yep.
Johnny was in it in an early role. I liked everybody in this. It had John Sachs on it. It was like a veteran actor also. This movie was good. It was just, sometimes these movies, especially these kind, they don't know if it's going to succeed or not. This was like a big gamble from a small studio. It could have gone south very easily, but at the end, it ended up like doing something really different and fresh. And I've always
oh
liked
yeah.
this movie.
Wes Craven nailed it, man. And we went
Nailed
and
it.
saw this one over and over again. But um yeah, this year, like, on Mr. Brown on Wednesdays, we've been doing movies of the years that correspond to the episode. We started, I think, 1968. We just did 1980. And it's amazing every year. It's just like great movie after great movie after great movie. It's mind
I
boggling.
didn't even realize, but yeah, I was there on Wednesday. I don't remember. Did we talk about movies? I can't even remember. Now, what?
No, this Wednesday was sort of just a short bonus ep because half the
Ah,
people were busy.
I see. So this is Spinal Tap. Obviously a good movie. Some people like live by this movie. I like the movie. I'm not as of much of a diehard as some other people about this movie, but I do enjoy it. It's a good movie, so
So
there's
I
that. I
was
know.
actually a working musician at the time this came out, and it just really, really spoke. Like I knew so many bands just like that. It just killed me, man.
It is very funny and very kind of taps into the band life. I mean, I myself was in bands back in the day, so I can appreciate a lot of things that happen in this movie. But somehow, I don't know. It's like because I was in bands and I'm a musician. Because of that, it's like it doesn't make me laugh that much because I kind of already know myself. Whatever I know, I don't know. It's still a funny movie, but I can't really explain it to you.
I thought it was brilliant. I mean, we ended up playing a lot of the songs just for pure fun, and yeah, like I've seen this dozens of times over. Could probably quote the whole movie, and it was just one of those films, lightning in a bottle again, and it hit at the right time. And then when they released the DVD, instead of a director's commentary, they had all the guys from the movie doing the commentary in character, like they were the real band 20 years later. It's hilarious.
That is funny. 1984. I admit that I've never seen it.
I've read the book.
This
It's a good
movie
Yeah,
movie.
was
I've read the
grim.
book, but I've never seen a movie, so I have to admit I didn't see it. Number 14, Dune. I am ashamed to tell you that I didn't see the original Dune movie. I don't even know if it's good or not.
Watch the extended one.
Maybe I'll give it a shot. Footloose is one of those ridiculous movies. It is a ridiculous, ridiculous movie. They could only get away with it somehow in the 80s. The premise of a guy that like moves into a town and they don't allow like people to dance in the barn or something. It's so preposterous and stupid. It is an absolute ridiculous movie. The John Lithgow, like he doesn't want people to
Yeah.
dance in his barn. It is so stupid. And yet, even though I just said all of that, it does have its own strange charm to it.
Yeah.
I don't know why it has its charm. It is like it is a 2-bit movie, but I don't know. Maybe it's the music. Maybe it's Kevin Bacon in his like youthful role. Whatever it is, like there's something about the movie that gets away with a lot more than it should have, because it's not really a good movie. But I don't hate it at the same time. Very 80s. It's like they said, why don't we do Flashdance, but in the Midwest, in a barn?
May I go back to Dune for a second?
Sure.
There is a edit. It's a fan edit created from the extended version where they actually finished some of the CGI on their own and inserted it to sort of make it how they thought it would have been if he had been able to finish the movie. It's called the Spice Diver edit. A little bit of Googling, you'll be able to find it. That is the version to watch. It's almost a complete movie at that point.
That's interesting. I'll look into it. Police Academy, the type of comedies that we don't get anymore. It is the most. It's so inappropriate. Every joke in there would be considered offensive today, and unacceptable. And that's what makes this movie fun. That's the thing is that back in the day, people didn't think about all that stuff. They're just like, let's make a fun movie that people will enjoy. And this movie is exactly that. And you know what I think? If you think about the cast and everything here, this was like a very diverse cast with a lot of different people doing a lot of different things, but it didn't have that kind of goody two shoe pretending to kiss ass type of politically correct nonsense. It was just a bunch of crazy guys in one movie doing their thing, and I think that was the best way to do it.
Yeah, they were
This was the real way to
unapologetic.
do it. What'd you say?
They were unapologetic in their humor. They were pulling no punches there, and
Pulling no punches.
that's
They
what
didn't
we
care.
don't get.
This is how but I think through comedy, this is how you bridge barriers or whatever you want to call, uh, call that. That's why it used to be good that we had comedies like that. Now we don't have that anymore. Splash is probably one of Tom Hanks' best movies. I know today everybody doesn't like him or whatever it is. This was actually a good role for him. Daryl Hannah also, perhaps her finest hour is her in Splash.
Her butt has become offensive over the years.
Well,
apparently.
this is the Ponyo story, the Little Mermaid story. I love this. Was a perfect date movie back in 1984, and I really, really like this movie.
It's a fun movie. It was fun. And yeah, even now, that's probably all of this is inappropriate. They wouldn't make it if they made it. I think that at some point they considered, this is a true story. Sometime in the past few years, I read an article that they wanted to remake the movie, but they wanted Channing Tatum to be the mermaid. I'm not kidding. I am not
I
kidding.
believe you.
This was a real thing. And I said to myself, please don't make this movie. And then I think that after a few years, I quietly read somewhere that they abandoned the idea. I think that Channing Tatum replacing Daryl Hannah as the mermaid is the dumbest thing I ever heard. Next, we have 16 Candles. Also wouldn't get made today. Considered totally offensive. Between the naughty stuff with the boys and girls, there's some Asian guy there. None of this would fly. And you know what? Again, there was something that felt a little more real and a little more less. I don't know how to explain it, but
yeah. Well, it's John Hughes. He really understood life as a teenager. It had a lot of.
He was like, I
realism
guess he
to
was
it.
always a teenager because all of his teenage movies somehow ended up good. So yeah, I mean, this one isn't as good as The Breakfast Club. I feel like this is like second-rate Breakfast Club, but I still don't mind the movie. Thought it was pretty good. Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. I'm sorry, I don't know what this is.
Oh, it's an anime, and it's super famous.
That's Ghibli.
Yeah,
I didn't know. I've never watched this one.
I wanted to
Gotta
mention
watch
that
it. It's
good.
One of the greats. You got to watch.
Yeah.
Is it
Just the
Miyazaki?
design
Who
stuff.
did this one?
Yeah, it is. It's one of the most fantastic animated
Wow, I'm
films
sorry I
ever.
didn't see this one. I'm sorry
Just
about that. I have
the
to
design
do
work
something.
is amazing.
Yeah,
I apologize to the
was-
people listening. I'm going to check this one out and watch it.
Yeah, it's one of Miyazaki's first movies. I wanted to mention that Disney has censored Splash on Disney Plus.
That's what I meant whenever the Daryl Hannah's butt was offensive in recent years.
Oh, yeah. They cut out the scene where she's getting out of the water.
Well, they added a digital, butt Birkin or whatever, Merkin, butt Merkin.
Loincloth or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's Six had to leave, so I want to thank her for hanging out with us. I think that was
Oh.
her.
Bye, Six.
Bye, Six. Thanks for hanging out with us. Six is wonderful, so I want to thank her for being here. I've always liked Six, and now I'm going to make her image disappear. But what can I do? She left.
There were a lot of people whose careers were kind of debuted in '84 because the next movie is also their first movie.
So, yeah. No, but I do want to thank Six. I always like hanging out with her, and it was nice that she stopped by. I appreciate that, and especially on Thanksgiving. So thank you, Six. I appreciate that very much. The next thing we are on Blood Simple. Blood Simple is the first Coen brother movie, and it's probably not their best movie, but you could tell even from that movie what potential they have, and the fact that amidst all the stuff that's happening in 1984, you have the first Coen brothers movies. I think that's pretty cool. Also,
yeah, I actually love this movie. It's sort of like cowboy noir. It's the cinematography is amazing. The pacing is well done, and it's got a lot of suspense. And oh my God, Emmett Walsh is in like one of his best roles ever.
I've never heard of it.
It's good. It's a good movie. I don't know. I haven't seen this in a good number of years, but I remember liking it. I like all of the Coen brothers movies for the most part. I really like their work, and it's interesting to see what they do so early in their career, because early in your career you're trying to find your footing, and the fact that this is their first movie and they're trying out some ideas, really cool. There's something really fresh and raw about it, and yeah, it's a good movie. Then you have Swing Shift. I think that was with Goldie Hawn or something.
Yeah, that's when she and Kurt Russell started dating.
I see. Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
It's a little rom-com. Period.
I'm gonna do a serious confession here. I am familiar with the movie Buckaroo Banzai, but I've never watched it.
This was a movie made by nerds for nerds, and the way they promoted it is they went to all the conventions across the country, sort of doing direct advertisement. There wasn't a lot of traditional P&A for it. It's a very silly, crazy, ridiculous movie. It's a lot of fun for real nerds, man. I love this movie, and the reason that it did so poorly was because Revenge of the Nerds ended up being such a sleeper hit. It stayed in theaters and booted Buckaroo Banzai out of its release window.
I think if I had seen this movie as a kid, I would have been in love with it, but I didn't hear about it until like college. And it was a bit too much for me. It's entertaining, but it's not one of my favorites. But
yeah, another John Lithgow though too, funny, and Christopher Lloyd. Like not Lloyd. Lloyd. Okay, I'm boomering. It's got a fantastic cast.
Very over the top. And Jeff Goldblum dressed as a cowboy.
Yeah, Lloyd's in it, and Jeff Goldblum, Ellen Barkin, John Lithgow, Peter Weller, Robert Ito, Clancy Brown, Vincent Schiavelli. It's worth a check out, but just know, like, I think Buckaroo Banzai in a lot of ways was the inspiration for Kill Bill, because it's the same kind of let's take all these movies you used to love to watch and cram them all together in some ridiculous expression of the, like, sort of their ultimate theme. And so this is to science fiction movies what Kill Bill was to martial arts films.
I want to highlight this comment. A Serious Man felt like a bad movie, but there are so many scenes I keep thinking about. You know what? I thought that there were a lot of. It's not the first movie from the Coen brothers repertoire that I'm going to rewatch. It's not one that I've seen many times, but there were moments that were interesting in that movie. It certainly had its own style. First of all, one thing that I think about from that movie, and I once showed it here on this stream, is that there's a scene where there's an Asian student who wants to bribe, the guy there, so that he like raises his grade on an exam. And I don't know, just for that scene alone, it's funny. There's Coen brothers, even if they do a movie that you think is just okay, there's going to be some pretty good scenes there. And I think that A Serious Man, it may not be as flashy as some of their other movies, but I don't think it's a bad movie. I thought there were interesting ideas in it. What's the next one here? We have Romancing the Stone. That was good. That's Robert Zemeckis.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a
And,
fantastic rom-com, man. That was
Yeah, it's good. Like, I thought they did good with that one. And then next you have Body Double. Body Double, I don't remember this one.
This was
was
a
good.
femme fatale movie. It's very, very good. Yeah.
Don't recall seeing it. The Killing Fields, I think I know of it, but I didn't watch it.
Incredible movie.
Seems like it's a
Story
bummer.
of Cambodia during
Yeah, it seems like a bummer. It's fine if you like it. Red Dawn. No, I mean you understand what I'm saying. It looks like a
Yeah.
downer. Red Dawn. It was okay. Red Dawn. I didn't love it. It's fine. It had some good actors, early performances from good actors in that movie, but I didn't love the movie itself. They later remade it. I don't know why they remade it, but just okay, I guess.
Listen, if I had
2000
been a teenager when this movie came out, I would have loved the shit out of it. But as an adult, it was like a little silly.
2010, the year we made contact. Don't believe I've seen that one.
Excellent.
It's a good movie.
Another John
movie.
Lithgow movie. How many movies did he make in 1984?
Like 50.
In fact, I'll go one better. I'll say it's a really good movie. But
Really?
it sits in the shadow of 2001. And you
Yeah,
can't,
yeah.
Is it
you can't look
is
at
it
it like
supposed
that.
to be? Oh, it's the sequel to that one, right?
It's the
Yeah,
sequel.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
see.
it
You
is
know,
a really good movie. Yeah.
I take it back. I believe I've seen this once many years ago. I think I know which movie you're talking about. I just didn't realize that it was that one. It's the sequel to 2001.
Yeah, it's very faithful to the book. It's not as confusing and actually explains some things from its predecessor. It's an excellent end cap to the original.
That's cool. Maybe I have to rewatch that sometime. But yeah, I know exactly which movie you're talking about. The Last Starfighter, that one I know I didn't see.
You didn't see?
Didn't see it, no.
Get out of here.
Never seen it, no.
Cut the stream. Go watch it.
It's a
It's
little
good?
dated, but it's kind of good. It's very earnest. It's a sincere film, and it was one of the groundbreaking CGI movies, like one of the very first to use complete CGI imagery for the spaceships.
It's a lot of fun. It's an 80s staple.
I'll have to check that.
Agreed.
Let me see for a second. Karate Werewolf is saying, what is this a list of? We're talking about movies that came out in 1984. The reason why we were saying it is that we were talking about this year, 2025, and how bad the movies are. And we were looking at a year like 1984 because we were talking about Ghostbusters that came out in 1984. And just looking at the type of movies that came out around that time. And this list is an amazing list. I mean, compare this list to what we look at that came out in the past year in 2025. 2025 looks like a joke, like a sad and embarrassing joke compared to the creativity here. Next movie, you have Top Secret. Top Secret is an awesome movie with Val Kilmer from the guys that made Airplane. Still like this movie. Still like it today. It's such a kind of typical for that team of guys, this kind of movie. And Val Kilmer does such a fantastic job in this movie. He really sings his songs. There's a lot of songs that he sings that he does in a very funny way, but he also, his acting, his charm, his everything This is like an early role that Val Kilmer just knocked out of the park, in my opinion.
29 through 32 are all winners, man. It's great. We're in the
Great,
30s
yeah.
and they're all winners still.
All winners. Number 30, Starman. Starman, John Carpenter. It had Jeff Bridges. It had Karen Allen, I believe. Absolutely love this movie. I don't know. I think that in the repertoire of John Carpenter, a lot of people forget about this one, but I really like Starman. It's like it's high up there. It's high up there for me. Really, really like the movie. There's scenes with those balls that he like light up and those magical little balls. I know how that sounds, but you know what I'm trying to say. Jeff Bridges has like those little magical balls.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
My
I'm not making this up. It's not like a euphemism. This is really has those little balls, and the thing like there's such great scenes in this movie. I absolutely love it.
my girlfriend made us go and see it like 3 times. She absolutely adored this movie.
We
The
still
Natural.
quote it every time we go through a red light.
What'd you say?
We still quote it every time we go through a red light. Yellow light. What is it? Red light stop, green light go, yellow light go very fast.
Fast. Yeah.
Right, exactly. The Natural, awesome movie with
Amazing.
Robert
Yeah.
Redford that just passed away recently. Top-notch performance, just such a great sports movie. When you think of great sports movies, this is obviously there. Great cast. It has Kim Basinger in it also. It has Robert Redford. This is just a really, really good movie.
It's like
heartfelt. Oh,
what
and
if
Glenn Close is in it too.
Yeah, arguably the best baseball movie of all time for me personally.
For
I
me
put
too.
it-
For me too. I think this is the best baseball movie of all time. Can't really think of one that's better than that.
it's
Next
Field
to
of
me, I would
Dreams
if,
comes pretty close for me.
it's like what if baseball was a Greek myth?
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with you.
Field of Dreams
Firestarter.
comes pretty close just because how I feel about my father, but this movie is superb.
Absolutely. 32 is Firestarter with
Little Drew Barrymore.
this was her finest hour. I mean, E.T. was probably her finest hour, but this is a pretty fine hour too. And I don't know. It has like a lower grade here. I don't know if people don't like it. I really like this movie. I remember growing up really liking it. I enjoyed this movie. I thought it's good. I like the movie. And again, think of all the different types of movies we've had until now that
Yeah.
didn't rely on big franchises, didn't rely on being sequels to sequels or prequels to sequels or sequel. You know, the one that's like a
Yeah.
prequel and a sequel. None of that weird shit. Sorry, Sean. This was like every single idea here is just completely different and interesting. So many risks were taken, so many ideas. You had real executives looking at real scripts, making decisions. Streets of Fire, I admit, I don't know what that is.
It's a musical, sort of. I just found out about it, and it's
Oh,
on my
okay,
list to watch.
yeah, that's fine. That's probably why I don't know what it is.
I think Firestarter is one of the top Stephen King adaptations, just behind Stand By Me and Shawshank. So
Yeah,
and
it's
Misery.
great. I have no issue with it. 34 Silent Night, Deadly Night. Is this like a horror movie?
Yes, it's a
Yes.
it's a horror.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen this one. I maybe it's a classic. I don't even know. Johnny Dangerously sounds familiar to me. It sounds like
Michael
something that I
Keaton.
saw. Set in the 30s, an honest, good-hearted man is forced to return to a life of crime to finance his neurotic mother's skyrocketing medical bills. Who's in this movie? Because I feel like I've seen it.
Michael Keaton.
I've seen this movie, but I think it didn't leave much of an impression on me.
I don't think it left much of an impression on the box office either.
I think that nobody cared about this movie, but for some reason I at least seen it once in my life. The Bounty, I'm not sure what this is.
Oh, it was Mutiny on the Bounty. It's a very good movie.
It's called The Bounty, though, not Mutiny on the Bounty.
Right, but it is about the mutiny on the Bounty.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I got you.
It's a really good movie, man. The cinematography was excellent. The acting was good. It was just a very gorgeous sort of naval. It's got Anthony Hopkins and Mel Gibson in it. It's really good.
Oh, that does sound pretty good. Maybe I'll give it a
Laurence
chance.
Olivier's in it too, and
Oh,
Daniel
wow.
Day-Lewis, and Bernard Hill, the guy who played M in all the Bond movies,
You know, you're starting to sell me on this movie.
and Liam Neeson's in it. He must
Fuck, I
play
gotta watch.
the-
Sorry, Sean.
He plays the mast.
You know what? I gotta give this movie a chance. Children of the Corn. I feel like I've read and seen more memes about it throughout the years, but I actually have never seen it.
It's whatever.
Uh,
Oh, the
Re-
next one. Classic.
Repo Man sounds familiar to me, but I don't recall exactly.
Oh, it is a cult classic, man. It's got Harry Dean Stanton. He plays, as you would think, a repo man, and Emilio Estevez is his apprentice. It's a very strange, odd movie, a la sort of, kind of not quite as weird as The Man Who Fell to Earth, but dude, this is a serious cult classic. Like, I think this is one of Quentin Tarantino's like favorite inspirations. This is where he got the briefcase in Pulp Fiction from.
I see. Well, I'll have to pay attention to it. The Toxic Avenger, I've seen it.
Wonderful.
That is something of a cult classic. But it's funny because recently this year they made a remake or whatever you want to call it to this movie, and
Mhm.
man, did they fumble it. Like the first one, it was such a shoestring type of movie and so unapologetic and so bonkers and off the wall that you kind of appreciate it for the weird cult movie that it is.
Mhm.
But this new one that they made, they want it to be like more politically correct, but to make it seem like it's this kind of throwback to these old movies. And I don't think they delivered. I think that this original one is good for whatever it is. Hard not to appreciate it, and the new one was just disappointing.
You know what? We don't even start to slow down until the 50s.
We don't even what?
We don't even start to slow down until we get to the 50s, movie
Right.
quality wise.
Places in the Heart. I admit that I know this movie exists, but I feel like this was a type of Oscar bait type of movie. I've never seen it. I don't even know what it is.
It definitely Oscar bait, but it's a Sally Field movie with Ed Harris and John.
Is this the
Malkovich.
one that they gave her an award and she said, "You love me, you really love me," or is that a different one?
I don't think this is the movie, but you know, it really, it's not really kind of our typical demographic kind of movie. But look at the cast: Ed Harris, John Malkovich, Danny Glover, Lane Smith, Terry O'Quinn.
Here, the Sally Field. It was for Places in the Heart.
Oh, okay. You're right.
You like me, you really really like me.
That's the cringiest acceptance speech.
It's as bad as what's her name, Anne Hathaway's.
Let's see
I
if
know,
I
right?
got bad, but yeah, it was cringe.
It's like she's going through. She's got issues.
She does seem like she has issues. Let's go back to our list.
And she needed to fire her hairstylist from that night.
I think all the people in the 80s had that hair at that moment.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
they all
dudes
need to be
too,
fired.
especially in Hollywood. Conan the Destroyer, wonderful. Wonderful movie. This is wonderful. I don't know why it has such a low grade on IMDb. This is a
Dude,
wonderful
Grace
movie.
Jones was awesome in here, and it made me truly terrified of a woman.
Oh yeah, I was just terrified of her in general in the 80s.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, and
I
this
will
next one,
I
awesome.
will plead the fifth on that one.
We're at 42.
42, Bachelor Party.
It's great.
Funny as a great movie. Great.
I may or may not have met Grace Jones before.
Oh yeah. Did you ask her where her apron was?
I did. I didn't ask her. That's the best question I ever asked. That's the best thing. I think that throughout everything that I've ever done, that is the best thing I ever done.
What's the movie that you mentioned that started all this? What was the 1984 movie?
I think we were
Ghostbusters.
talking about
Okay,
Ghostbusters.
yeah. See, right? We've been through so many good movies. It's crazy.
So many good movies, all in 1 year. Can you believe that all of these great movies just in 1 year? What a great year to go to movies.
But see,
What-
no, it wasn't. Every year was like this in the 80s. 84 wasn't really all that special.
No, but 84 was a good one. I'm not saying that there weren't other 80s that were good, but 84, like until now, is a fantastic one. Bachelor
not
Party,
even-
that was a
It's
good
not
movie
even
too.
that, it's not even just that they all came out in the same year. It's like some of these were coming out the same week, so you had to
Yeah.
pick which
Right.
ones you were going to.
Like you had the like awesome movies competing against each other this week, this year. If you have like one good movie in a weekend, everybody's surprised. That's like the movie that
Mhm.
may win because there's one good movie
In a
Yeah.
month.
in a month, maybe. Yeah, Bachelor Party was fun for whatever it was. Stop Making Sense is honestly. This is a live performance of the Talking Heads. I've never seen it. I like the Talking Heads back in the day, but I don't like them that much. I mean, they're all right. Purple Rain, Prince is brilliant. I like the music. I like whatever. It's not. I've seen this movie before. It's not my favorite movie, but I like seeing him in the music at least. The movie itself, like take it or leave it. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Not my favorite Friday the 13th movie. It's all
Why?
right, I guess. I think that the first Friday the 13th is good. Maybe second is pretty good, but once you get there 3, 4, whatever, it starts to be a little rehashy.
Yeah, final chapter, my ass. Little did they
Yeah,
know.
no, they never meant that shit. Sorry, Sean. 46, Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. I like this movie. I like it. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't like it as much as Wrath of Khan, but I do like it. So
Mhm.
it is what it is. Runaway, not sure that I know what
I
that is.
love this movie. It's the Tom Selleck movie where it's a science fiction movie where with the guy from Kiss, Gene Simmons is the bad guy. He's investigating a bunch of murders where it looks like people's androids or robots had killed them.
Didn't see it. I have to maybe check it out. Stranger Than Paradise. I don't think I've seen that one either.
That was a weird one, kind of an indie. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be your bag, but
Against All Odds, I did see it. I don't remember much of it. I think Jeff Bridges is in it, and
James
who's in
Woods.
What'd you say?
I think it's James Woods.
I thought it was Jeff Bridges. Let me see.
No,
for a
he is. James Woods is the bad guy, and Rachel
Ah,
Ward is
yes, you're right. I think you're
Rachel
right.
Ward is the
And then,
beauty that they're having a little love triangle thing. It was a fun enough
yes.
movie.
I thought Jeff Bridges. Yes, I knew that at least. Rachel Ward. Yes, James Woods. It's all coming back to me. I've only seen this once many years ago. Unfortunately, the thing that most people know it for is for that cheesy Phil Collins song.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fine, but I just think that the song actually, in a way, kind of ruined Phil Collins because after he saw that he made this kind of schmaltzy song and everybody gave him money, he's like, what if I recorded more schmaltzy songs? And then we
funny
got
thing
like
is,
70 of them.
I've seen almost every one of these movies at the theater. Like,
Oh, Night of the Comet.
I'm going to be honest with you. Trancers, Night of the Comet, and The Hit. I'm not sure that I even know what this is. I feel like you said we reach 50, it starts to go off. Not 100% sure about these.
Night of the Comet. It was just on Pluto last night. I was watching the end of it again. It's fun. It's basically a comet around Christmas goes by, and everybody that's outside staring at it turns into either dust or, if they're partially around the radiation of it, they turn into zombies.
yeah,
So it's kind of a zombie movie, but I think of it as a Christmas movie.
Tim Hayes likes karaokeing the theme to Against All Odds. I once did it before, but it's different. Is this channel just movies? No, actually, this channel we talk about a lot of sometimes political stories, pop culture, gaming news, things like that. But since it's Thanksgiving, we didn't really feel like getting too much into all the kind of downer of all the politics, and just kind of as a fun kind of special. We were just talking about movies that were made in the year 1984 because we were comparing how crappy the movies we get are today versus just a random year we chose from back in the day and the type of movies we saw, and there's such a just discrepancy in the quality.
yeah,
So
we've got 4 in a row coming up that are all pretty good.
back to here, Transfers, Night of the Comet, The Hit. Oh, Revenge of the Nerds. Yeah, that's a good one.
Dreamscape was
Dreamscape
from
was
what I can
awesome,
remember.
man.
I don't remember Dreamscape. Revenge of the Nerds, I absolutely remember. and really like that movie. Until today, I like it. Again, you could never make that movie today.
No.
There's so many things that happen there that would be considered extremely inappropriate. You just couldn't even make the movie.
Yeah,
It's like every
Dreamscape is the Dennis Quaid movie where, it's good. It was really fun to see at the time.
I think someone's trying to kill the president in his
Oh, I didn't.
dreams.
I don't
Yeah.
remember. I know now what you're saying, but I didn't watch it. Revenge of the Nerds, though. I'm just thinking about the movie now. I could think of like 20 things that would never get done today. It is like a movie that is extremely would consider by today's standards inappropriate, and it's too bad because we don't get good movies anymore. That movie is funny. Birdie.
That's a great
Uh,
movie. A little weird, but really
I
intense.
don't remember that one. Muppets Take Manhattan. I remember that one. I know.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Nicolas Cage and Matthew Modine are Vietnam vets returning home, and Matthew Modine starts to go a little bit crazy, and he thinks he can turn into a bird.
Hmm.
Nick Cage is trying to help him through his trauma.
Those are the kind of movies I generally used to steer away from and probably still do. But I understand it's probably a quality movie. The Muppets Takes Manhattan is good. The Company of Wolves, I'm not sure what that is.
It's horror. It's on my list to watch, actually.
Year of the Jellyfish, I'm not sure I know what this is either.
Hmm.
Don't really know. The Cotton Club is something that I've seen.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Lots of good music. I think it was what's his name? The dancer guy, Gregory Hines.
Hmm.
Ah, yes. I saw it once many years ago. I can't really even tell you a lot about it, but I know that I've seen it before, and it sounds familiar. Another Country, don't think I've seen that one. The Woman in Red, I did see it.
Yeah.
I like Gene Wilder. It was an okay movie. I think that, the soundtrack and Gene Wilder were probably better than the movie itself. Who was it? Was it Kelly LeBrock? Who was in this?
Yes. Yeah.
You know what? Kelly LeBrock was pretty great too. So it's not the best movie, but there's something to enjoy about it as kind of whatever it is. It's all right. Crimes of Passion. It sounds familiar, but I can't remember it.
Seems like a Cinemax movie.
Hmm.
Sounds like it. All of Me, I remember that. That's
That
the
was
one.
that was Steve Martin, man. That was a
Steve Martin
good
and
movie.
Lily Tomlin.
Yeah.
That was kind of a weird movie, but I liked it, and it's another one of those cases where you let Steve Martin have a movie that's seemingly mediocre, and he kind of elevates it to be better than it is. Streetwise, I'm not sure I know what that is. Love Streams, not sure. Missing in Action sounds somewhat familiar.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I've seen that one. Radioactive Dreams, don't really know. Supergirl, I did. I did watch that one.
Terrible
And
movie, great casting.
I think that I actually saw a longer version, I think, of this movie than people did in the U.S. because I believe I was abroad when this movie came out, and I watched it. For some reason, I watched it outside the country. I think that I got a cut of this movie that was better than the one that was shown in the U.S. It's not to say that the movie was significantly better, but I think it was a longer version.
Is
That
it available?
I
Nope.
have no idea. I could be wrong, but I think I saw a longer one. I don't even know how I know this, but I think I watched a different version than other people did. Hard Bodies.
The teen sex comedy.
I probably didn't see it. Sex Mission. I don't think I saw that either. Teachers.
That was the Ralph Macchio movie.
Oh, it was. I still don't think I saw it.
It was his big
Teachers.
debut after Karate Kid. I was dragged to this one by a date as well.
Teachers. I
wasn't-
don't remember. Promiscuity. The Street Kids of Caught. Yeah, don't really know. Best Defense. Also doesn't really mean a lot to me. Angel. Passage to India. Cannonball Run 2 I saw. I don't remember it being very good, but I think I saw it at least.
We're scraping the barrel now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
now we're
Passage to
scraping.
India. Passage to India was a good movie. That's an Ian Forster one. You know, it
Okay,
was
so listen, we are scraping, and this is already like a bunch of like crappy things. But I will say this: up until like 80 or something, there were still some decent movies in here. Maybe we got to 80 and like it went off a cliff. But imagine in 1 year, you have so many great movies, that we just went through a list so long and there was still so many great things in it.
Yeah,
I
more
think it's
than
great.
one a week to see, and I'll give Philadelphia Experiment the honorable mention, and Moscow on the Hudson, an excellent movie. That's down the.
But that wasn't in '84, I don't think.
Yeah, it is.
What do you see? Oh, Moscow on the Hudson. Sorry, you're right. That one was with Robin Williams. That is a
Yep.
good movie. I
Yeah,
don't know.
and
I don't know in what order they put it. Why did they put that in like '94? I have no idea. But that and Breakin', I saw Breakin' as well. It's ridiculous, but I did see it. But even a movie like Breakin', if you look at all the different, the bottom line is, if you look at all these movies, the different styles of movies, the different genres, like the different risk taking that you had here, not relying on existing IPs, hard
yeah,
not to appreciate it.
Tightrope is '84 too, the Clint Eastwood movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. Basically, you barely have any movies here that are relying on something else.
Mhm.
Most of these movies that we like looked at here, like 90% of them were movies that just stood on their own as movies.
Yep.
And these days, you barely have any ones that stand on their own. They just want the remakes and the sequels, and they do a crappy job at them. And when they already try to do something original, it sucks because they want to be all politically correct and kiss ass. So that's why it's nice to see all of that. So
That
yeah,
was a big list.
that was a big list. Yeah. Is there anything gaming going on, Sean? Is there anything gaming going on?
I am currently
PC?
playing Batman Origins.
Aside from that, Cece, is there any gaming news?
People thought this was going to be an awful year for games, and it turned out to not be an awful year for games. So I'll take that for a positive.
But,
Nothing that stands out to me as like big news at the moment. But if I'm looking at the year, like reflecting on the year 2025 in gaming, it's been pretty good. Got some nice titles this year. Expedition 33 and
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful, gorgeous game. It's almost like it's hard to believe that it's a game. It's absolutely gorgeous. This week's Welcome to Derry was quite good.
I haven't been watching that show. Like, I want to start watching it, but I didn't get a chance. Don't do spoilers, but tell us what you think about it.
Okay, it started out, just wasn't really sure about it. Episode 2 was a little better. It's a gorgeous show, even though it used a lot of CGI that they blended in pretty well. And then, but at the end of episode 2, you're like, screw this movie. And then episode 3 got really, really good, very compelling, really hit it. And then they did something really stupid with DEI, girl bossy stuff on episode 4, but they've recovered. And now episode 5, it's really chugging along. So it's definitely keeping my interest. And it seems to be picking up the pace. And I'm actually interested to see how the season wraps up, which I couldn't say I was like the first couple of episodes. So, and you keep asking about the clown Pennywise. He's come into it big time now.
I just wonder if it doesn't spoil it 1 and it 2 with this weird crap.
I don't think it does. They've been pretty. No, I think from what I know and gather from all your tastes and everything we've discussed and talked about, and from what I know about you, I think you'll enjoy it to a decent. You might have some issues. They were really all about the whole racism of the 60s, the first couple episodes, but it's almost like they just completely dropped that so they could move along with the story. So now that it's all about narrative, it's gotten much better. And they're not really focusing on any of the, racist stuff.
I see. All right. Well, I'll definitely check it out. It sounds interesting.
And this week's episode of Landman was pure awesomeness, just like last year. It's really good still.
I think I watched it. I think I watched this one. Oh, is that the one that does it end with them finding out who financed the son's wells?
Yes, it does. And that speech Rebecca gives in the lawyer boardroom.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
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 was
was good. There were listen, there's some good stuff here. I don't dislike the show, but I still think that there were decisions made in the first season that something that they did that I didn't really like. We'll see where it goes.
yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad. I watch it and it's more enjoyable than most other shows, but I'm still kind of, I stopped short of really like showering praise over it because I want to see more consistency and where they're
Oh,
going with all their ideas.
you know what's really funny is there is a subreddit called r/landmen. It's about real actual landmen, and they've been talking about this show nonstop since it premiered. It's really funny to get their takes on what's realistic and what is absurd. It's kind of interesting to go through.
I want to just shout out Karate Werewolf, who has become a member. So welcome to Leapers, and welcome. Nice to see you here. I think I haven't seen you here in a minute, and I would have remembered because the name Karate Werewolf is just such a memorable name.
I
So
thought
thank
it
you.
was
Thank
one
you
of the
for
movies.
that's a movie that we want to make. Thank you, Karate Werewolf. That's very nice of you, and welcome aboard.
Yeah,
So
Karate Werewolf should team up with Kung Fu Hot Dog and do a stream.
that's true. I haven't seen Kung Fu Hot Dog in a while, but yeah, he's
He
cool.
he was just on last week. He was hilarious, but his preamp was acting up a bit. Oh,
Oh, I see.
he got it fixed for the last one actually. He's been on the Wednesdays.
I see.
He's a lot of fun, man.
Well, I wonder in the chat if there's something that's somebody wants me to talk about something. I feel like I don't listen to the chat enough. Guys, is there anything that Tim Hayes asks, is gaming even fun anymore? I heard you can't own your own games anymore. They're just digital downloads now. What do you have to say about that, CC?
Well, one thing I've heard lately that I hadn't crossed my mind until I started seeing people talking about it is RAM. The cost of RAM apparently is going through the roof
Oh,
because
yeah.
all
Because
the
of AI and
manufacturers are
servers,
using it
yeah.
for AI. Yeah, this
Yeah.
gaming kind of relies on RAM. Well,
Well,
if RAM is going to cost more than the rest of the components, how are we supposed to game?
people are talking about they're not even going to make any more consoles. All of the components needed, people are paying so much more money for it to go into AI. We're going to have a huge computer component shortage very soon for video
I mean, I
processing,
don't know.
GPUs, RAM. It's going to get
Do you
bad.
think maybe gaming is powerful enough to take down AI? Because
No, it is
people
not.
want a game, man.
Yeah, but the thing is, they buy one console and then they buy the games. And if consoles were $2,000 or $2,500, I don't know if that's going to fly.
No, it's not.
So, I mean, it's hard enough to upgrade your computer now. Like, if you have an older one, at least like older RAM is still cheap, but the new stuff, but that's not just RAM. You're getting into GPUs now. It's going to be CPUs. Like, I don't know exactly how this is going to work out, but it's not looking all, the future's not looking bright for, computer DIYers.
That sucks, man.
I mean, I'm old enough that I'm happy playing 16-bit for the rest of my life, personally.
I like the
I'll
Nintendo
speak to everybody
Entertainment
else,
System.
but
Yeah. I'm,
yeah, let's just go back to the let's go back to 2D graphics.
if all of those foundries that are making the parts for those emulators and all the other stuff, if everyone switches to start making AI components, because that's where the money is, you're not going to be able to get anything, man.
Yeah.
Add it to the list of
So
everything AI is crapping on.
yeah, we might get the supply chain of COVID to be sort of permanent how it is.
That's usually how things go, though. Once something happens, it never goes back to being good again.
Yep.
Usually, if like something costs more money, it's not going to go down and cost less money. Most of the time, once it went up, there's no coming down.
If the bottom drops out of AI, they won't be able to give this shit away. So
That's true. But even if the bottom is going to drop out of AI, it's going to take some time. And
Yeah.
I still think that it's not going to drop so quickly. I think that there's still more to do with this AI thing.
Yeah, it's hard to know really because tech moves so much faster than other areas that we're used to. Um, just remember MySpace, they were on top of the world. 6 months later, people were like, "MySpace who? What?" Like, areas in
I mean, I
tech
think
just
there's
go quick.
there's necessarily a practical application to any tool, but I mean, it's I apply it to movies. We've seen it with CGI, right? The
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings films are a great example because those films were a great example of where they actually built the physical sets, they built the miniatures, and they used CGI to, enhance or just sort of tinker with. It's not a fix it and post situation, right? That was a good use of CGI.
There
Hmm.
But if you overuse it, if you abuse it, to say, to the degree by which they're doing it now, which they don't even bother to film it properly, they just stick the camera in front of something and say, "Hey, we'll fix it after we filmed it. We can do everything in post."
And a lot of it,
Yeah.
And people do want legitimacy, whatever the application is, whether it's from a show, a movie, video game, anything we absorb in life, we want legitimacy, right? And if it's an I don't think it's, even if it gets to 99.9999%, it can never get to 100%. It
Yeah,
can
but
trick us to
that's
a certain degree, but
you're talking about a very small application of what they're using it for. I mean, we're not talking
yeah,
about AI movies and stuff. We're talking about AI replacing every human being on the planet and their job, the data processing, number crunching, all the stuff behind the scenes. Regardless of how it works out in Hollywood, that's not going to make a dent in the AI industry. Um, there's some speculation that it might require government intervention just to ensure availability of, certain parts so people can actually own computers. So,
Yeah, that
I
sucks.
mean, even number crunching. I mean, there's an argument to be made whether numbers lie, right? I mean, if you base all of your business decisions on the pure money ball, um, I'm a baseball fan. I don't know how many baseball fans there are listening, but I grew up in Toronto when the Blue Jays almost won the World Series this year. And in my opinion, and this is in Game 3 of that World Series, the manager of the Blue Jays, he took Max Scherzer out of the game because he was following Moneyball, and Max Scherzer was not. If I'm a human, not a robot, I do not take him out of that game at that moment in time. But the Moneyball, the AI would have taken him out for sure because the Moneyball said it was time to take him out of that game. Blue Jays lost Game 3
yeah, I
because they
think
took
you're
Max
looking at a
Scherzer out
different
of the game.
application of number crunching.
I
I mean,
I
I'm
I
talking
Eh,
about
think that
encryption and prime factoring and all
okay,
the
fair.
I will
so
say this though, that the Toronto Blue Jays really fumbled that World Series.
Oh no, it was more than just that. They absolutely choked it, but
The
that
choke.
moment was, that was a Moneyball move, right? Now I
Yeah.
understand just you're saying like for deep and like stuff beyond a human's ability, right?
yeah, yeah. And
Um,
I
that's
mean, not to take away, I think that Yamamoto did great, and the Dodgers had their moments, like with what was his name, Jose, who did that thing where he
Conseco.
Ramirez, who got that surprise home run in the 7th game that it looked like they were out already, and then like nobody expected it. Was it Ramirez who got that home run?
I have to look it up. I'm a little despondent about that.
Uh, was it Manny
It's
Ramirez? Maybe not.
it was
What
more
was
than one home run in that game.
Okay, wait a second. No, but there's one Miguel, was it Miguel Dodgers Miguel? Come on, man. Miguel Rojas, that was his name. So in game 7, this guy that like seemed like he would never hit anything, he got a home run and saved the Dodgers. He was like on their roster just like a supplemental player that nobody. You were talking about Moneyball. Dodgers made a decision with that player that's the opposite of Moneyball, meaning you don't put that guy on your team at all. Like you probably don't even play him. And the Dodgers manager was like, no, he brings like he adds to the morale of the team. Like maybe this guy can do something, and he believed in him, and he gave him like a home run. So unexpected. So I feel like the Dodgers uh maybe they went more with their gut and not as much as from the money ball, and they managed to win that series barely, but they did it. And Yamamoto was great as a pitcher. You can't take that away from him. But yeah, I feel
I,
bad for you,
I get,
CC.
I
Listen,
yeah,
I gotta tell
I
you,
give humans that ability.
I haven't gotten over
They
the
had
Atlanta Braves choking in the 91 series to the Minnesota Twins. They were up 3 games in game 4, and they just, still hurts.
I gotta get to bed, guys.
All right, Sean, it was great hanging out. For those who don't know, Sean has his own comic.
I do.
Let me try to find a link that I could share here with people.
I do.
He has his own comic book, and you should all check it out. Let me do this Crumbs Comics, and then I'll do new products. Sorry, shop. Sorry, Sean. So I'm putting a link here, and if you go there, you'll find Sean's comic called Smacked in the Head.
Sorry
And
to have to cut out, but I'm exhausted from working.
no, it's okay, man. It's okay. We understand, and we appreciate you hanging out with us on this Halloween day. And yeah, I just put the link here. Check out what Sean is doing. Check out his comic books. As opposed to a lot of people that do all these kind of elaborate campaigns, raising money and doing all this stuff, Sean just kind of does his own thing, doesn't ask anybody for anything, but it's nice to support him. So if you want to see, and he does good work too. So if you want to check it out, you should look at the links that I put in here.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Happy Thanksgiving, man. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, Sean.
Night.
Good night. So yeah, it was a panel full of guests. We had 6 who had to turn in early. We had Sean, who's now also turning in. We ourselves, we just we're hanging out a little bit longer, and then we'll probably be on our way. Did he say Halloween? I don't know. He must be tired. He must have meant Thanksgiving. Did I say Halloween, or did he say Halloween?
Yes, you did. No, you
I
said
did?
Halloween.
I said
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Is that what I said? I said Happy Halloween. How did I pull a
Yes.
price? Is that what I do? I just say the wrong thing at the wrong time? Well, I did. I probably did. I mention ever the thing with Grace Jones that I met her in real life? What does it matter? Because somebody
And
mentioned her today, and then I remember that, but doesn't.
yeah, from Conan, did you hear anything about what's going on with Larry Summers?
No, what's going on?
Okay, so he was Clinton's Secretary of the Treasury. Always
Okay.
been a high-profile Democrat, and he was ex president of Harvard and still taught there. Well, when they released all this Epstein stuff, it turns out they were best buds, and the emails are just scathing.
I see.
He's talking about, you know,
Well, we don't need to go into all the details.
okay, it's very yeah,
Yes,
there are very
I
much
I already
details.
am heading this off at the pass. I
Fair
didn't
enough.
realize that it was that kind of thing, but just because some platforms don't like people talking about certain things, I understand what that is, but we will
Yeah.
steer away from it.
Well, he's been suspended from Harvard, and he has some splaining to do. Let's put it that way.
I assume so. It doesn't being besties with that guy is already sounds bad. Although
Yeah,
there's some other people that are besties with him, and nobody,
yeah. He had a lot of besties, and
had a
some of
lot
it's
of
actually
besties. That
coming
guy.
out. Well, Summers is a very high profile politician and educator. So
Very interesting for sure, and it's interesting how until now nobody said anything. But yeah,
oh, not at all.
yeah, no, I try to steer away. Oh, I also want to say something else. I can't believe I'm addressing this. Uh, After I talked last time, I said that Dustin Hoffman was canceled because the lady said that in 1974 he put his hand on her behind and she wasn't interested. Uh, Six sent me an article from the Guardian that made it seem that were like several women that came forward. The thing is that I'm sorry I actually didn't bring it up when she was here. I regret it because that would have been an interesting conversation. The thing is that a lot of times when you see articles like this at the Guardian, their goal is they wanna bring as many women and, like, make it seem like you're a serial, person that does bad things. So, like, they now had, like, 7 women saying things about him. But the funny thing is about that article, if you really look at the 7 things that they had to say, a few of them right away, you could just remove them from the list, like, just a bunch of nonsense that's, like, hearsay on the verge of nonsense, in my opinion. But there were a few things that were written there that, if true, especially one of them sound rather disturbing. I don't know though if there's any real like, evidence to any of this because nobody ever filed anything against them or said anything or did anything. And that's the weird thing. Like, printing an article, writing a few things, and then nothing happening and nobody ever saying anything beyond that is kind of weird.
No, I don't trust the Guardian anymore. I
I
used
don't
to.
trust them either, actually.
I used to rely on them quite heavily, but in the last 10 years, they've really changed. Let's put it that way.
No, I mean, I knew that there was a guy on Doctor Who that they did try to do like a Me Too thing on, and I saw immediately what the Guardian did. He tried to sue them, claiming that like they stepped out of line. But in England, it's very very difficult to sue the paper, and he lost his lawsuit. And I don't know if that guy's a good guy or a bad guy. The guy from Doctor Who that got into trouble, but I will say that like the Guardian, I know that John the White, a guy that was a friend of mine who passed away, he did an in a very detailed investigation trying to look into that article with the Guardian to see how much truth there was behind it. And they claimed that they had like 20 victims that have come forward. But by the time you read their article, there actually isn't 20 victims. Some of the quote unquote victims were like, one lady was like, he was my boss and I worked for him and he yelled at me and I was sad. That's like because I was late to the office. That is not a victim. You know what I mean? Like it, it makes me lose any kind of it makes the whole thing lose any kind of credibility when you're trying to make it seem like you've found several victims and some of them are just stupid shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, they have a pretty predictable methodology, The Guardian, when they're going on a smear campaign too. Like you said,
Right.
it's easily recognizable and you can tell what they're doing.
So that's exactly what happened. Oh, Tim Hayes, so, it happened already last year, and I was especially sad because at the time, it was a few months for a long time that he was sick, and I knew he was sick, and I was in touch with him, and we DM from time to time, and I check in on him and ask him how he's feeling, and there were a few months that I had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, and I didn't have as much time to like stop and reach out and ask him how he was doing, and I was very busy for maybe these like 2 months, and then one day, I just noticed, I was in a few forums and I saw somebody talking about the fact that he passed away. And I really, really felt terrible that, I hadn't in those last few months reached out and asked him how he was doing. I couldn't have known, you know what I mean? I think that he seemed to have been turning, I don't know if to say turning a corner, but he was fighting and it seemed to be doing okay. But I think that suddenly something happened very quickly, like things happened, and he kind of he went something bad happened and it happened very quickly. And still I regret that those last 2 months, like I think that before it happened, I thought of him and I said, I need to make that send that message. I need to maybe get on a call with him. Sometimes in life, you try to do your best and to be nice to people and to pay attention to people that are your friends. And sometimes you make a mistake. And I do feel like I could have done better, but at the same time, I don't know why I'm telling you all of this now because I guess it's a late hour. and I just thought about it. I've kind of been pushing back this feeling of me feeling bad for a while now, but uh, for a long time he was sick, and I did regularly ask how he was doing. It's just that final stretch that I should have been better about it. But he was a very nice guy.
Yeah, that's sad.
You're not the only one who has a story of that kind, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Actually, somebody in the karaoke community died a week or two ago, and I realized I haven't talked to this person in a year.
I
I was
see.
like, probably should have, you know? It's it's
Yeah,
part
I
of
mean,
life, unfortunately.
sometimes life is strange like that. Also, you go through your own thing. You're going through your own stuff, and it's hard sometimes to step away from that and start thinking about other things. I had another friend he was a significantly older guy who passed away this year, and for many years his health was deteriorating, and I was still meeting up with him and checking in on him and things like that. At some point, though, he was taken to some kind of facility, and I couldn't get him on the phone anymore. I don't really know what happened. And then after maybe, like you said, Cece, maybe not talking to him for a year, I suddenly recalled. I'm like, what happened to this guy? Like, I haven't talked to him in a minute, and I couldn't get through to anybody. And I Googled his name, and it turned out that like a few days before I Googled, he passed away. The only thing that I could do that was somewhat nice is that I physically, like in person, went to his memorial service, but I don't know if I could have even seen him during that last year. He was an older guy, and I don't really know what was going on in that facility. I didn't have access to it, so I don't know if I could have done more. Maybe I could have been more proactive and done more, but like you said, Cece, sometimes things happen, and then you try your best.
It's a Thanksgiving topic. I know I've been talking to my sister about that with my parents more the last couple of years. They're getting older. It's always that thing where it's like, well, how much time, how many chances do I have left? So like how many hours do I have hours left to spend with this particular loved one? Or
Well,
days? It's not weeks or years anymore, you know?
I
yeah,
like the
as we get up there in age, we really start to realize, like, I've definitely been a lot better about it, uh, since I passed my 50s to make sure I stay in touch with the people I need.
pure blood-based berserker. Be better to the friends you have left. I agree. That's a
Yeah.
good thing to say. Um, then Elizabeth Quince, nice to see you. You can't feel bad. There's always a rally. They seem like they will get better. Hubby paid gold with dear friend fighting, and he was dead in 3 months. The rally. Yeah, yeah. I mean, uh, the guy that died, the first one I talked to, he wasn't especially old. He got sick. And I think that what happened was it was during the coup that all this happened, and because a lot of medical facilities were shut down, he didn't get the proper treatment, or he didn't think about it. And by the time he realized what was going on, there was no way to really. I mean, it seemed like he was fighting it, but I guess at the end, he wasn't able to beat it. So yeah, it's sad and it's difficult, and what can you do? Uh, we are all close to the edge anytime. That's true. You try to do your best with the time you have with people, and I try to be a decent person. I don't know if I am, but at least I try. Anyhow, I don't know how we got all this negative stuff. Let's do something positive. We got a
That's
few minutes
it's
left.
a it's a, it's a it's an appropriate Thanksgiving topic for a few minutes anyways.
That was fine. Yes, it was okay. It was okay. I don't know how we got to all this place, but we why did I mention him? I said that he said something to me. Oh, I remember now. Okay, back to what we were talking about. So the Guardian, just based on the hit job that they did on that other guy, that they're like, "Oh, like he yelled at me once." And there was this other lady who, okay, so the guy from Doctor Who, his name was Noel Clark, I think. Not I think, that's his name. And he played Mickey on the show.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
one day he woke up. He had like a show on the BBC, or one of those that he produces. He's like the actor, the writer, and the producer. It's his own production company. He was considered a success story in England. And the thing is that he was a success story before all of that kind of woke stuff. Meaning, I don't know how to explain this in the nicest possible way. A lot of times, people that were success stories, more that were diverse and success stories prior to all those kind of initiatives, they're usually, for lack of a better term, the real deal. Because there was no kind of weird bullshit quotas and things. It's just some guy was good, so he got the opportunities and he kept advancing because he's good at what he did. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So he wasn't a guy that relied on anybody's like handouts or favors. He just like, he did his thing and built that reputation by himself. What he did to upset who and exactly what, there's a lot of questions to be asked there. Maybe he was a flirty guy. Maybe I'd say he was even inappropriate. But I will say this: The Guardian uh, did an article where they basically cleverly, in a sneaky way, explained that he's a predator. But how did they do this? They sat around like doing cold calls to anybody that ever worked with him on a production. And once they found a lady that said like that she thought that he was a predator. Now he didn't do anything to her, he didn't like attack or whatever, but she something like that. So what they did was is they quoted her, and then they wrote, "Oh, like he's a predator." You know what I mean? Like I can't believe I can't explain how disingenuous it was, but it was like a very conjured up type of headline. And then of course they sat and they cold called anybody that ever worked with him. You're a boss. You've been working in the entertainment industry for years. You've had employees. Somebody at the end is going to say some weird shit about you. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
Well,
sorry, go on.
it's the same like in when you're watching the news and they'll start talking about somebody and they'll put an image up that's completely non-related but very invokes a very negative feeling. I've seen that in a lot of YouTube videos where they try to twist, you know, they'll say something like, Pam Bondi doing this thing, and then they'll, put up something completely unrelated but very suggestive of inappropriate behavior.
I agree. I just want to say,
Very
Tim
disingenuous.
Hayes mentioned Klobby, Mikey Sutton, Cardinal Sin, Gil Bavel died in recent years. There was also Xavius. I knew Klobby. Klobby was a super nice guy. I really liked Klobby, and I'm very sad about his death. Mikey Sutton seemed like a nice guy, but I didn't personally know him. And this other guy that you say, I didn't know him at all. Xavius, I did somewhat know. I was acquainted with him, and yeah, Klobby was a great guy. That was a loss. That was a real loss. At the time I streamed with him a few times a week, and it was really felt that his departure.
Yeah,
But back to what I was saying,
he was great.
the thing with him is another. I'll give you another example of quote unquote a victim, because they said they had 20 victims, which they didn't have. There was a lady that worked for him, and she danced funny, kind of like Elaine on Seinfeld. And I guess there was a company party, and he filmed like the company party, and there was a video, and in one of the videos you see her dancing, and her dancing is funny. So after the party is over, like, it's the next few days, he's in the office or whatever it is. He's looking at his phone, and there's a few guys around him, and they're looking at the party. And at some point, it gets to this lady dancing. So they're just like chuckling because her dancing is kind of ridiculous. Now, she's in the office and she hears them, she's standing next to them, that they're chuckling about her, dancing or whatever it is. She gets upset, takes the phone, throws it on the floor, and breaks it. So, and this is her boss, okay? So he says to her, "Listen, I don't want to make this a big deal. Just take it to the shop, have the, screen replaced, and it's fine. Like don't worry. Just replace the screen." So she goes, replaces the screen, apparently doesn't lose her job. That's a victim. So it's like, what victim happened here? She's like, "I was humiliated that I had to go replace the screen after I danced funny at the party." I'm like, "Bitch, there's ladies with real like issues. This is nothing. This is absolutely nothing. I don't give a shit about this stupid phone thing and your dancing. I couldn't give two shits about it. You know what I mean? Don't waste space claiming you're a victim with some stupid phone and weird screen shit. You know what I mean?" There was another one. She's like, there was a production in like he was producing something. He's the producer and the actor, whatever it is. And then this lady that's supposed to be working on the production arrives like an hour late. And basically she walks in and he starts yelling and saying that every minute she's not there, it costs him money. Like, this production thing is expensive. You can't just show up whenever you want. So he yells at her. That's a victim.
Yeah.
So now a few of them had stories that like were more serious, I guess. But I'm saying once you say you have all these victims and like half of them are just this nonsense, how serious can I take their articles? Do you get what I mean? And
Yeah.
even that thing that like, Six forwarded me. So yes, there were a few things there that I will admit, like, there's especially one that I can think of that I don't even want to repeat, that if that's true, that is a bigger issue. But for example, there was one lady, it's like an anonymous lady says that like decades ago, he invited her to his hotel room. So she went to his hotel. This was Dustin Hoffman. Um, she went to his hotel room with him, and while she was in the hotel room, she felt that he was like pushy about doing naughty things. So she ended up doing naughty things with him and then leaving, and that's his fault. And I'm like, lady, all I know is one thing. I can, forget about him. I can only talk about myself. I don't care if I was 16, 20, 25, 30, or my age now. Uh, if until this day, I can tell you, if I ever meet a woman somewhere and she'll be like, "Hey, I like you. Why don't we go? Why don't we go back to my room? Like, why don't we go back to my hotel room?" I understand what that means. You know what I mean? There is no way that I don't understand what that means. There's nobody that's going to say that to you and bring you to their hotel room, and it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. If they're saying that and you're like, "Yep, let's go to your room,"
And
to
not
then
have
go
sex.
do you get what I'm saying? To then go to the room and be like, "I can't believe it. Oh, he undressed. How could he?" It's like, what did you think you were doing? Like it doesn't seem like there was any kind of ambiguity as to why you were going there. Now, somebody could say, "Well, I changed my mind," and I accept that, but this kind of, "Oh, I felt pressure," blah blah blah. Can't really, an anonymous lady from decades ago saying that can't really take a story like that seriously. That's where I say that the Guardian only discredits itself with these type of articles. They had another one of their victims in the article for like Dustin Hoffman was Meryl Streep did a scene with him, and I don't know what he did in the scene. He behaved inappropriately, but she actually, said that she didn't have an issue with him. So as far as she was concerned, there was no issue. So that was that.
Guardian had an issue. Yeah,
So do you get what I'm saying? Like the Guardian's like 7 women have come forward, and when by the time you read it, there's like 4 hearsay, one that like with no source, and at the end there's like one or two things that they wrote that genuinely you think of. Well, I hope that's not true. But as much as you think that, is there any evidence? And once I look at the five, pretend victims, it's really hard to take their articles seriously.
Yeah, well, it's again, you learn to recognize that pattern when they're being very disingenuous and they lose credibility, and then I don't go to that news source anymore. But that's happened, it happens so much, so often now. And all that's why people don't trust the mainstream media anymore, to be honest with you, because that's been going on everywhere for at least like in an obvious way for the last 10 years.
Uh, Palm 5966 says being pushy towards a woman and she agrees to do naughty stuff is considered grape in Sweden. I didn't know that. That's funny. I didn't know that.
Well, when I was growing up, even if they wanted to, they were supposed to pretend like they didn't want it to because it wasn't supposed to look all that easy. It's rules for thee and not for me, right? They changed the rules of the game, but only on one side. So you don't even understand what's going on anymore.
Dustin Hoffman seems like a dork, though. He probably is a dork. Listen, also there's another thing. 40, 50 years ago, times, I know this sounds weird, but times were different. Maybe, people made passes more. People were more kind of open and, maybe even pushy with their aggressive, whatever. But at the same time, uh, all I know is that none of these things, they're the same thing that with the Doctor Who actor. The Doctor Who actor may have sued The Guardian and lost, but just so you know, The Guardian printed an article at the time they wrote, there's 20 victims, Scotland Yard has opened a special investigation, and like you read that article and in your mind you're thinking, there's police cars on their way to arrest that guy. Like that guy is finished. You know what I mean? Until today, nothing has happened to him. Nobody's filed any complaint. Nobody's arrested him. Nothing happened. So if you have 20 victims and nothing happened to him, not only that, you know what happened with Scotland Yard?
Nothing.
They came out. They said they have access to all the hard drives, all to everything. They're starting a unit to look into it. Who knows how much it costs taxpayers for them in England? And after about a year, they just like quietly made a statement that they've found nothing that meets the threshold of them
Right.
pursuing any kind of action against him, and they are closing the case and they don't want to deal with it anymore.
Yeah, well,
So
that's the very terrifying thing about accusations. At least in a trial, you have a chance to be exonerated, but with accusations, you don't. They just stay out in the air and linger. And
yeah,
I do want to. It's important to make a point. I wasn't talking about being pushy with women, but like if you didn't ask them, like to go on a date, if you didn't ask them 3 times, it was interpreted like that it wasn't that important to you and you didn't really mean it enough. So I'm not talking about being pushy. I'm talking, "Hey, do you wanna go out? No. Do you wanna go out? No. Do you wanna go out? Okay." Like you were expected to ask more than once. I'm not talking about really pressuring somebody into doing something they didn't want to. I'm talking about showing your interest.
all I know is that they did the same thing like with the Doctor Who guy with Dustin Hoffman with that article that caused him a lot of problems. And when I looked at it, when I really looked at it, if I was being honest, at least 2/3 of what they were saying seemed like a cross between like hearsay and nonsense, or just like blowing something out of proportion completely. And a few of them sounded odd, but without anybody ever filing any report anywhere about anything, it's really difficult. I'm not saying maybe he's a bad person, maybe he's a good person. I simply don't know. But all I know is that the papers like The Guardian, which I believe that they also did that whole Johnny Depp with Amber stuff. I think maybe he tried to sue them. I don't. Maybe he tried to sue somebody else. I don't know. But
Yeah,
trust me when
yeah.
I tell
He
you
did.
that The Guardian, anytime that they can come up with that weird thing, they love doing it. And there's only so many times that you could try to sell me this weird stuff. Personally.
I mean, history is colored by however you paint it, right? It's like if you ask a girl go out a few times and she says no, she can come back later and say that you were being pushy. But if she says yes and you end up, getting married to this woman, and now you're at the dinner table and people are asking, well, how'd you meet? How'd you end up getting married? It turns into a romantic story about how you wouldn't take no for an answer.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not graping then. It's a romance. So it's,
Yeah,
I
so
am,
and like I said, if a woman comes up to you and says, "Hey, my hotel room is around here. Why don't you come to my hotel room now?" You're not thinking that she just wants to sit there and talk with you, right?
no, that's
no,
what the bar
that
is
in fact,
for.
that'd be really weird if that's how it turned
So
out.
that's what I'm saying. That like
Yeah.
there have been a number of incidents, especially like that came out during that times. Like, oh, well, like I can't believe it. He invited me to his hotel room, and like, how dare he? Blah blah blah. It's like even. I mean, again, he's an idiot. He's a fucking idiot. Sorry, Sean. Even Louis C.K. with his story, which is as weird as it was, uh, I think that technically, I'm not sure he did anything wrong.
Oh, he didn't do anything wrong at all, man. He let everybody know it was his room. He said, "This is gonna happen. If you don't wanna see it, then leave." And he did what he said he was gonna do. He absolutely did nothing.
No, and the thing is that like, first of all, he ends his show and he's like, "Hey, ladies, do you want to come up to my room?" First of all, if you don't want to be in his room, if you don't understand what that means, don't go to his room. But
Yeah.
they thought to themselves, "We're like wannabe comedians, and he's successful. Why don't we go to his room?" Now, this is where things get a bit murky because he invited you to his hotel room. You're going there thinking, oh, like he respects us as like his peers. I don't know. What is it that you were even thinking to yourself? He has a hotel room. He invited you both to his hotel room. What are you thinking is happening now? Like, what are you idiots? Like, people can't be that stupid. They
No,
can't be
no.
that stupid.
It's
And
about
then,
power. They thought after the fact that they could get something from him. It's
right.
completely
And then they go up to his room and he says like, "Oh, I want to do X, Y, and Z." And they like you said, they didn't leave. They gave their consent. He did it. And then they're like, "We can't believe he did it. We can't
Yeah.
believe we came to his hotel room and then he did all of this stuff." It's like, maybe don't go to like this. There comes a time where like you think to yourself, this already is like disingenuous. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I dare say again, James Franco is a stupid and sleazy guy. What he did was manipulative, and it's shitty in a way what he did with his school and the ladies and the courses and all that stuff. Technically, from what I can tell, I don't know that he did anything wrong. And all these ladies were very happy to be involved in whatever it is that he was doing. It was only when they saw like this movement came along and suddenly all of them wanted money.
Yep.
And they gave the same thing. They said, "Well, we signed all these documents and we consented, but we only consented because he's a celebrity, so we felt pressure to consent."
And that's the reason we're suing him too, because he's a celebrity,
He's a celebrity, and we agreed to do stuff with him. It's like, I don't know, ladies. So that's just my opinion. Again, I also want to clarify. It doesn't mean that there aren't bad people that didn't do bad things. It's just I think that that whole movement discredited itself
Yeah.
along with all those annoying newspapers by instead of focusing on things that were serious and there was stuff to focus on, every single guy that ever said like one word that somebody perceives as wrong, they just wanted to like destroy them.
Yeah, and because of that, a lot of the bad people ended up getting away with it, and a lot of the people who were genuinely wronged and harmed, were denied justice because it got out of hand and it turned into a power play and a money play for people who saw a paycheck or a promotion or advancement.
Franco's scam was brilliant. Listen, Franco, he did something that if he would have done it like 30 years earlier, probably nobody would have said a word. But in the year that he did it, it was so like audacious and so stupid. He's just forget about like you say it's good or bad or if it's like manipulated or not. He's just an idiot. You know what I mean? Sometimes you pay for stupidity. And at that day and age, to think that you can start a school even if all those ladies sign those documents and you're going around and like banging all these ladies, to think that you could somehow pull that off, I mean, very, very ballsy. I'll give it to James Franco. Very, very ballsy that he thought, I can open a school, they'll sign all these documents, they'll just bang all these ladies. It is very wacky that he, even went for this venture, and it cost him because he didn't read. I don't know if to say he didn't read the room, but it's like you have to pay attention to what's going on around you. He thought he was like in the 50s. Uh, you couldn't get away with that in the year that he did it.
Well, ideally, that's how the world's supposed to work. We're supposed to pay for our stupidity. That's how we learn.
Hold on one second. Who sounds like a targeted individual?
Mickey or
No,
Noel
somebody.
Clark,
I was looking at the chat, but I don't know.
Dustin Hoffman or Noel Clark, probably. Absolutely. Or it's just some overzealous reporter
Oh, double
gets
R
one whiff of
star.
something and she
I'm banned
wants
from
to.
hinging. A girl said she had a list of gifts I need to buy her. I'm sorry, we're different cultures. Uh,
It's a good
we,
line. I'll give him
we do
that.
sex scene now. Yeah, I mean, there is something. If it wasn't kind of, it's not funny. But if I separated it and thought about it from like, I shouldn't be laughing at this, but the fact that he created a school, invented a course that called Sex Scenes with James Franco, had ladies sign documents that they are involved in these scenes, and then had like, started having relationships with the ladies in his courses. It's just like, I mean, really, it's the type of arrogance you pay for. That's all I can say. That it's like it's over the top. And really, he didn't need any of that. He could have just gone to a party and just been like, "Hey, I'm James Franco." I'm sure there would have been ladies that would have gone with him. What did he like need all? He probably thought he was being clever with like the documents and the signing. He's such an idiot.
What's hinge dating? I'm not familiar with that.
Robot Head was right. Was Price molested by Leslie Headland? That's the real question. That is a good question, Robot Head. Uh, where were we?
Oh, I was asking what Hinge dating was. I'm not familiar with that. The guy
I
said
don't know what Hinge dating is. I know there's like speed dating, but Hinge dating, I don't know. Did he say Hinge he needs to buy a lady presents and then she'll date him? I don't even know if I understood that.
Sounds
yeah,
rather transactional.
yeah.
Yes. Although, there are women more than you'd think that are into that sort of thing.
Oh, I don't think there's more than I think because I think there's an awful lot of them. Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, like what was I going to say? It's such a late hour. Well, it's been a really great stream. We went even late with this Thanksgiving thing, and man, we went all over the place. This was a very all over the place type of stream. I don't
Well,
have the list of people. Hinge is an app. I guess there's an app you buy presents for ladies and they date you. I don't even know. I hope that's not the app. I hope I don't get it like I didn't understand it.
yeah, I know. I'll you get you best. I'll be checking it out either probably in the mornings. It's very late.
Okay, let me do some goodbyes. Pure Blood based Berserker, Phantom Monk, Clowny World 2021, Phantom Monk, Caleb Levine, Elizabeth Quince, Istophobos, well, that's you.
Yeah,
Uh,
2018.
Tony Grigo 6382,
Oh,
Twinkle Hid, and Sailor Dude 2022, Cool Mikey, thank you for the $2. Oh, wait, is there anything that I missed? Was there any more super chats?
I think he got them all.
Let me check just to make sure. I want to make sure I didn't make a mistake. Uh, okay, let's do this. Yeah, no, there wasn't any additional ones beyond the ones that we had. Phantom Monk, Birdhouse Blues, nice to see you here. We have Professor R2 is on the road. We'll see him here next week. Stephen Mack, nice to see you. Uh, Asmanadira, Asmanadira. Hope I said that correctly. Let's see for a second. Birdhouse Blues, I think I said. And Rocky Dennis. Wasn't Rocky Dennis the guy from Mask? That's like the guy that had the weird face in that movie
yeah,
with Eric Stoltz and Cher.
yeah,
Rocky Dennis, SSB Learn Pro.
yep.
CC
Roy L.
Karaoke.
Dennis, aka Rocky.
I know a lot of random stuff that nobody cares about. UK Gamer OG says hello, Marla Sherendorf, good friend of the channel. Tomahawk 551. Phantom Monk, I think I said. I'm so happy that so many people hang out with us. Even though when I scroll now, I'm probably missing some of them. I want to thank Six for being here and Sean for being here. And
You get the Corvette guy.
Never Married Corvette guy. I don't know who that is. Never Married. That's
It's
the person.
2018 Z06 Vet.
Ecto Mason. Oh, I think that's no, that's not Ecto Mason. That's E Clay Thomason or something like that. I think that's the way I say it. Because now we only see the handles, we don't see the thing.
Yeah,
Eject the curtain 11. Eject the curtain 11. So sometimes it's people that I probably know, but I don't know because of the handle Karate Werewolf. Let's see. Thank you all for hanging out with us. It really was a nice stream. It was fun, and I'm happy we're able to do it. MSX Kitty. Tim Hayes, of course, was here. And Robot had stopped by. I saw him for sure. Awesome 142. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Rebecca Gold. Hey, what's up? Ian, how's it going? Were you listening this whole time or did you just wake up now? uh, I don't think anybody's ever bumped into like a person like me sitting and talking to as Leslie Headland that has been asked so many questions about an incident the way I have about that thing. But it's funny nevertheless. I will also say this, and I've said it before. About 10 years after that incident, I was at a sort of exclusive cocktail party, and she was there at the party, and I didn't recognize her. I must have passed by her. Good chance that I passed by her and didn't recognize her. She had already looked different from those 10 years. She looked very different,
Was
and
she in the full uniform at that point?
I think she was more, she was more firm as an LG person at that point, and I think that the way
Yeah.
she looked at that point, I just didn't recognize that it was the same person. And the only reason I know it is, how should I explain this? There are pictures somewhere, and I can't explain more about it, that, that only years later did I realize that I was with her at the event, because when I looked at pictures from the event, I saw that she was there, but I didn't realize it initially.
Ah,
So it was a strange kind of like retroactive investigation. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That years later,
yeah,
when I
yeah.
saw pictures from a very specific event and I saw myself there and I saw the other people that were there, I realized that she was there as well, but I didn't at the time even say hi to her. I didn't recognize her.
So she
Didn't
underwent
recognize
her
her as the
own
person I drank a beer with, I actually drank whiskey, but you know what I'm saying, uh,
yeah,
10 years earlier.
she
So you
underwent her
refute
own form of transformation.
She was, transformed, yes.
you refute the claim that you made her gay?
Yeah, it was me, I did it. I told her my thoughts about cinema, and that was it. She couldn't go back to being a woman.
She should have listened to you, and maybe we wouldn't have gotten the crap that she delivered. Oh my god. And wasted $350 million of shareholder money.
Yeah, well, I didn't know she would ruin Star Wars then, but, interesting.
And still blames it on us.
It's our fault.
Yeah, I don't think she really believes that. I think she's just it's an attempt to save face. I think she knows that she has no talent.
You know, a lot of these people at the end, they get bitter. They come in there like, in her, I don't know if this is a good term, but like swinging dicks, like come in and, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's the gayest ever. It's this and that. Oh, look, I'm going to teach all those chuds a lesson and all that. And then like it fails and nobody watches it. And all they can do is, yeah, it's because of those chuds that didn't watch it. You didn't care about them. You didn't make a show for them. You didn't give a shit about them. So you don't get to whine about it now, you know?
Elizabeth Banks is the best example of that with Charlie's Angels. She's like, "Man, this isn't made for you." And then, a week after it opens, "Why aren't men coming to see my movie?" Like,
Yeah, yeah. I think that a lot of these people learned some lessons, that they speak very differently now. All those ladies that at the hype of all that kind of Me Too and stuff, like people were telling them, you can say whatever you want now. Everybody loves it. That's what people expect. Go tell the men how crappy they are. And for many years, they really thought this was a good idea. I think that now recently they're starting to understand that maybe it's not a good idea.
yeah, finally. you know.
Dame with the Harley Quinn movies. Well, Margot Robbie, relatively speaking, considering the annoying things she said and done, whatever, she has one thing going for her. Margot Robbie is that she does look rather nice. Uh, that's the main thing she has going for her.
Yeah, but you know what? That's sort
That
of
can only get you so far. That's what you're gonna say,
well, it's starting to fade a little bit. It's still
right?
there,
I mean,
but
listen, she looked, she obviously looked better 10, 15, 20 years ago, but I still think she's an attractive woman. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But
it's still like, it's not going to last forever though. You're right. I think that, she has to really think carefully before insulting people and doing all this weird shit that she does, but uh being hot is sort of like you get forgiven for things sometimes.
oh yeah, they call it
Like
pretty
in real
privilege.
life, you know
Yeah,
how it is.
yeah.
Cece knows what I'm talking about.
I had that a little bit in my youth, but you know, I think everybody has a period of their life, where everything's just all clicking together, and it never lasts though. It just doesn't.
Uh, Obi Dean, weight dividing an audience actually divides sales. What a concept. Guess the woman's still learning. In any case, I think that we went through everything today, and carbon copy of Jamie Presley. I don't even.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
You know,
guess
see, did you see Joe Dirt? Kind of a funny movie.
I've seen it before, but I only saw it once. In any case, I think it's a good time to bow out of our stream. We've covered a lot of great issues. It's been a nice, more kind of like lighthearted Thanksgiving stream. If you saw, we kind of we kind of didn't focus on all the angry politics this time around, and it wasn't bad. It's a holiday. It was a Thanksgiving special. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us. I want to thank our distinguished panel of gentlemen, CC Karaoke. He has his own karaoke channel called CC Karaoke, and on that channel, how many? 350,000,
Yeah.
370,000. I keep forgetting.
363. I passed it the last couple days. Yeah.
So 363,000 subscribers. He is one of the top 5 channels on the internet for on YouTube for karaoke.
Excellent.
And I say this again, not because I'm trying to be nice to him because he's my friend. That is absolutely the truth. So I'm sharing what he has here. That's his. It's not that he's starving for subscribers, but I will still put it in here in case you want to check out what CC does, because does a great job. Really, one of the early people, on YouTube to really take seriously this whole field of karaoke. Really built his name, like a name for himself for his channel. So I always appreciate that. I'm happy to share that with people. Is the Phobos, is there something that I can share? Let me see for a second. Phobos. What am I looking for? I see
Oh,
something that says it's to Phobos and there's like a dog biting a finger.
um, no, I don't think that's me. You know, I'm working on some videos for my channel, which at the moment, it's kind of empty. I'll put the link of the channel in the chat, and
All right.
I have a little placeholder video there. It's just a cute thing I put up there, and
I
I'm
just couldn't
actually
find it,
working
but
on a
if you
long
want to put
video.
it here, you can do that. And
Yeah.
Caleb Levine said he's number 5 on the internet, but number 1 in your heart. CC Karaoke. No,
And
but it's
cool.
true. Just so you know that I asked one of those type of AIs recently. I just said, "Hey, can you tell me like what's the top like karaoke channels on YouTube in the entire world?" And with without anything, I didn't prompt it to do it anything. It gave me the top 5, and CC Karaoke was in the top 5. This
Google says it, so it's true.
Listen, I don't know if it says it's true or not, but the fact that like they don't know that I know CC Karaoke, I'm just like, out of the blue just saying, "Hey, give me the top 5 YouTube channels," and you're one of them. That has to be mean something. You know, Even if you say, "Well, I'm only in the top like 10 and you made a mistake," or whatever it is, but even if that's the case, it's still really good. And the fact that it said top 5 and I didn't ask about you, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'll
well,
take it.
So,
also you can come by and say hi to me on Twitter. It's the same name there. You know.
uh I'm not really sure, Dude Bros F. I don't really know what goes on. Robot Head, how many hours have you streamed today? Well, I streamed between 3 to 4. Oh, actually 3 to 4:30. I streamed with Erwin, Badger, and Gooch on Nerd Wars. Strange that I have friends called Badger and Gooch, but that's what my life is now. So that was that. And then between 8 to 10 p.m. or 8 to 10 p.m., it was a stream with Robot Head, the Trigger Show on his channel. Then there was the Quantum Leap Hour. That was a random one. I barely even remember what that was. That was like 10:10 to around 11:30, I want to say. And then we did this thing. So it's a good amount of hours, but I enjoyed every minute of it, including the time that we streamed together. And now I think that it's a good time to
Sleep.
Say goodbye to all the boys and girls. Yeah, man. It's I had a pretty busy Thanksgiving earlier in the day. I'm satisfactorily wiped out.
All right. So I guess now is a good time. K Roberts 8866. Every time I changed a plane today, he was online. Well, that's good to know. All right, I guess that's it. We can head out. Bye.
Timing.
Night.